Oh wait, hold on. Forgot to do the whole thing.
Oh shit! Is that hot mix?
Oh Jesus Christ! Don't do anything, Matt. I'll fix you. I'll make you better, baby.
Just FYI, the audio, the alerts, your music and stuff is going to come through wherever your source is going through in this phone call.
Okay.
So it's like making you sound like a robot when you speak to me.
So it sounds like shit right now?
Yeah, out of your word hole.
Oh, that sucks. I'm sorry. Well, it sounds good over here, so I think
Jesus, that's a close up, dude. My hair is wild. Like, what the fuck?
it's beautiful. Nader Tater, welcome in. So what if I like Bambi? Listen, Bambi, I don't mind Bambi. It's the Bologna that and the sulfates and the pig anus that gets me all weirded out. It's so crazy, man. It's so crazy. Did you hear about that? Like, because our food is just poison. Obviously, we live in America where food is just it kills us as we eat it. Yeah, that is a lovely bearded chin. I agree. Did you hear about the? Did you hear about how oatmeal is now like turning people gay and stuff? I'm not. No, I mean it was just that's kind of a joke.
I mean, is it like soy or
no? It's stuff that they spray on it.
I'm just kidding.
Oat. Yeah. Oh, I got you. Like soy boys.
I'm just kidding. I was soy is in like tofu, but like I don't know. You went a different route. We just did like a weird trifecta of a not so much a circle, but
yeah, it's just it's all right.
God, we're so politically correct here. This is gonna be great.
Oh, it's gonna be more than great. It's gonna be beautiful and perfect in every level. It's perfect. Did you say oatmeal? I did. So oatmeal. What was it? Was it a pesticide? Pesticide. Like
they're pull up your other chat too. I can't see that. This multicasting is wild.
I know, man, and I still don't have all the I still don't have all the chat on one thing, right? So like I got YouTube and I got the multi-stream because I have Streamlabs, which is garbage. Oatmeal is turning the frogs gay. Yes, it is. It definitely is.
I don't like it.
I have your chat up.
So for your friggin' frogs gay.
What in the world?
Oh.
For your for your Twitch chat, I can see the Kick chat. So if people do want to hop over to Kick, they should, so that I can see their questions.
Yeah, and if you guys do, since it's been a while since we've had guests. We had a guest last week, or no, the week before, and then you're our other guest. It's been a while. I've been just doing like solo things for the last few months, just because of the baby and shit. So, no, the oatmeal is the oatmeal has this. Okay, here I'll just send this over here because real shit right now. It's a pesticide that's linked to reproductive issues found in Cheerios, Quaker Oats, and other oat-based foods. Let me bring Maddie up here too because we want to see Matt too. Oh my god, damn it! I didn't do anything to fucking prep.
How many bowls did you smoke today? Because this is you're in it. I love this. I missed you, Mike.
I missed you too, buddy. It's been a while.
What up, Naders?
Nader Taters over here. Women are making men go bent.
So bless umpers. Like, come on.
A little herd pesticide linked to infertility in animals is showing up in the overwhelmingly majority of samples of oat-based foods sold in the United States, including popular cereal brands Quaker Oats and Cheerios. The chemical is called chlormequat and was detected in 77 of 96 urine samples taken from 2017 and 2023.
So time out.
Sure.
So whatever they're talking about, they did this test on 100 people. How many people? Not to say it's wrong or right or whatever, but dude, the world we live in is so fucking sensationalized. It's so weird, and everybody's got some fucking wild narrative. But out of 100 people, they've determined this. How many billion people are on the planet now?
That's what I'm saying. Like that seems really small. Yeah, you're right. It's a really small control group. 77 of 96 urine samples, and
Right,
from the years 2017 to 2000,
right, right.
2023.
Yeah, that's a long time to cherry pick 100 cases, but then on top of it, it's just like, who did the study? If this anything like the sugar company, then we know that they literally just did their own tests and then pulled their own fake ass
Right.
numbers, and then
Listen, only like
what are we doing?
only 100 people tested
Yeah,
for this, so it's cool. Don't worry about it.
yeah,
Oatmeal's
yeah,
good, yo. Oatmeal's
yeah.
good.
Maybe it's like COVID or something like that. Maybe
Oh
it's
my
those
god,
who did the
dude.
research.
I don't know what it is, man. But it was like we were looking at it the other day, and apparently now they want to start regulating these guys, and they want to start putting parameters on this pesticide because of the study. So it is strange. You're right. If it is such a small study, they're making these headlines. This is
I
CBS.
just Yeah, it's CBS. That's the first thing that sticks out. It's like, this is how you know, like, most media is full of shit. If you as any kind of serious news syndicate are going to allow some kind of conversation like this to take place on your fucking news network, that's like one of the biggest on the planet, like, get out of here.
Yeah.
This is fucking all nonsense.
Well, I mean, but also, what if it is though?
Well, so this is where Mike comes in. This is where, dude, I love your Instagram, by the way. I do when I open, I can't stand social medias, but when I do open Instagram, one of the first, if not the first few posts, because you post a million times a day on there, it's some kind of wild conspiracy, especially in the music world. Like, there's some fucked up weird story that you've posted, and I just fucking laugh and scroll through. Oh god, and the comment sections, oh my,
Oh
they're
man,
just the
dude,
threads.
it's
My favorite.
it's over. It's over in my like YouTube is even worse, like because that is like a toxic dumping ground for people's just shitty thoughts while they're shitting on the toilet, right? Like
Yeah,
it's definitely the worst place ever, and they just go for you, and I don't mind. I'm old enough and secure enough with myself to know that, like, this person is obviously a broken human being who is just trying to, let off some steam, and that's fine. But
yeah.
they do come for me. They do come for me.
Oh yeah,
It's
yeah,
and that's fine. Again, it's fine.
yeah.
You put it out there, you gotta expect it to come back on you. You can't be some like sad person who's like always
Hey,
crying about it.
you want them to come back on you, like that's your own
Well,
weird.
it's funny because I remember we were because when
Oh, you meant COME. I thought you meant CUM. Sorry,
no, it's
I,
okay. I'm actually trying to
my bad.
find they wanted to start. I thought they were going to start regulating this because of that. In oats. Hey, moving Dutchman, welcome in. So, a food prompt. There we go. So now we have lawsuits over it. So,
Why is it suing the sugar company? Just forget about fucking fake
Clone.
Hall and Oates. Let's why is no one like suing the people who are actually like really killing people every
Oh,
day?
because
The biggest
because
pandemic in the country.
that would be that would require people to, hey, Chief, welcome in, Chief Pete. I'm pretty sure that comes down to soy boy immune system. Yeah, so they're actually going to, so 15 to 20% of oat growers in Western Canada. Who gives a fuck about Canada? Get out of here, Canada.
Hey, don't sell it to pay. Don't make. Hey, look, man.
I can't stand Trudeau, and I don't think they can stand Trudeau either. I love the people of Canada.
I was like, Pete just got here, dude. Don't like.
Hey, Pete,
Let's not
I
put
love
it all
you,
over
Pete. I
Trudeau
don't care for your leader. That's all. And he's just like, I'm sure fucking Canadians are like, oh, damn Americans, eh? Those sons of bitches. I don't know.
Is that how the accent really is?
You're
Like,
fucking
this is
right.
how
It is.
Pete's a good. Pete's a good person.
I'm sure he is. I'm sure Pete's a wonderful human being. All right,
He
but
actually, is. Pete's a really good person.
okay, fair enough. But we're talking about Trudeau here, so
Bless his fucking heart, that guy.
yeah, Justin Castro, he's amazing. No, the
This podcast is gonna be great.
It's already derailed. Like it's already gone.
It's off the rails. We're in it now. Naders, we're in it, dude. Mike's hit full we speak English good like flight right now.
I'm in Super Saiyan mode right now. Oh yeah, and R.I.P. to the creator of Dragon Ball Z. He passed away recently. No, you mentioned COVID and studies and stuff. Isn't it funny now? This just came out last month.
Rebuttal, don't blame it on me if we start going down this COVID rabbit hole. Don't see what he does. He invites me on. He puts me in position, and I crack a joke, and now we're talking about COVID because I wanted to. Look at him.
Well, I did 48% TC.
Exactly.
Listen, buddy pal, I'm not your buddy, pal. No, but wasn't it like okay? Do you like remember when we were going to when we went to see Dave at Labor Day weekend?
How could I forget?
And like,
are we going to talk about that adventure openly now? Is that what you're saying?
Oh no, I mean I don't care. I've already told them that I caught fucking the COVID from there because I was sharing.
Yeah, but what a fucking ride we had!
Oh, it was awesome. I loved it. JT, the blackface. Yeah, exactly.
So,
no, but like, do you remember that moment? There was a moment where we were walking to the show and we were in the.
we were in my truck.
No. But we were walking. We were already there, and we were walking into the amphitheater itself, and and Dave was on stage being like, "Good thing." He was just like, "Yay, vaccine!" He said something about vaccines. Everybody
very, very pro.
cheered. Yeah. And I remember you looked at me. You gave me like the most fucked up look because you're just like, "What the fuck is going on?" And like we were, because we were talking about, we weren't allowed to talk about these things back then, right? Like even the people at your campsite, some of them, and they were wonderful people, but they were propagandized. And we weren't even allowed to talk about the things that we already knew was going on. And so here we go. We have largest multi-country COVID study links vaccine to potential adverse effects. And now they're putting it in print. How many years later? And that's the thing about these studies, because we were just talking about studies, is like these studies come out or they'll be in different countries and they'll come out. And if you start talking about them, the way that things are set up now is what do they call it? The censoring industrial complex.
Is that what it's called now?
I guess so. Yeah, that's what we're calling it now.
You got to have professional names for real professional entities. You know what I mean?
Exactly, Phil. Exactly, and that's the thing. We were talking about this. Years ago when the COVID vaccine came out, and we were just like, I will never ever fucking take that shit.
So Pete, time out, Mike. So Pete, Mike is all of the things. Mike is, for those that don't know, for those that are new, that are people that follow me or what have you. Mike is an IRL friend of mine from back in the day. And how long have you been doing podcasts now, Mike? You've been doing podcasts 8 years. Yeah. I thought it'd even been longer, but he's been doing this for a long time. So Mike's also a musician, professional musician, him and his wife, and this podcast is everything, Pete. So, but he certainly goes down the fucking dark hole of conspiracy theories, but conspiracies are only conspiracies until they come true, man.
Yeah, and that's for like 2 months, right?
We'll see where this goes. I'm not sure.
Yeah, conspiracies are conspiracies for about 4 months. Hey, Pete, thank you so much for that follow over on Kick. Well, no, and here was the other fun thing too, right? Like, hold on, what the fuck is this? What is increases? So like now we have, now we're seeing stuff that we saw 2 years ago, 3 years ago. It's all coming out now, and. Do you remember when Eric Clapton fucking was like, "Hey, I got a vaccine injury," and then everybody came for him?
Yeah. And and so he doesn't. There's Eric Clapton's an interesting one. There's multiple facets of him and why people come after him, but one that I think is just kind of silly and whatever people can think of it. The people call him a racist, which is
Yeah.
wild.
Well, that's how they were trying to discredit him.
Well, this is far before the COVID thing, but it's like I don't know, man. If BB King loved that man, then I do too. So
Yeah.
I just saying, whatever. All the Karens in the world and upset white women can label that dude a racist all they want, but some of the most amazing musicians that are not white love that man, and
He,
so
yeah,
that speaks volumes to me.
me too. And I think like there's a big, a lot of people get caught up in what people did. And hey, thanks a lot, Booger Bill.
Bill, it's my mod. Bill's the man, dude.
Booger Bill, welcome in. We're just talking COVID vaccines because why not? Because
Because
this is a music podcast.
Mike brings me on just to because he knows if he gets me started, I'll just rattle off with him. This is
Well,
how
you make
goes.
it easy for me, so
I know I can't help it because I don't fucking hold my tongue, dude, for nobody.
which is why I love you, which is why like
Yeah.
we're homies because I couldn't stand to be around somebody who doesn't wouldn't talk about some real shit. Because what we gonna do? Sit around and talk about the weather? Yeah, like I'm not doing that shit. We're
No.
fucking we've had awesome conversations,
Yeah.
off and on air, and fucking one of them was I just remember like we were just so tiptoe around this thing, even with people around, even with the people
Yeah.
around. And it just now, it just bothers me that now this is all sort of coming out. More people are starting to talk
Yeah.
about it, and nothing's gonna happen about this. Like nothing's gonna happen. No one's gonna get any kind of trouble.
And
No one's going to jail.
it doesn't bother me as much in the sense. I guess I think of it as I think. I mean, obviously, we were saying some things back then, or like even having, and not even saying things like waving a flag. It was just like I don't know. To speak from a different perspective, I guess is anybody who's ever grown up really fucking poor, and I don't mean just telling horror stories, but really grew up with like in a bad environment. You understand at a young age like what corporations are. You understand that like the legal system is not out for you. They're not like nothing is for you. So when you have companies that you've deemed as being shitty since you were a child, and that they're dark and terrible, like Johnson and Johnson, Pfizer, Moderna, like all these things, and all of a sudden somehow they got the mass populace scared enough to champion these people that were terrible. That just told me where there's smoke, there's fire. I'm not a scientist. I don't know what the fuck's up or down, but I know that something was wrong. And when something's wrong, I want to be the furthest away from it. And there's no fucking way that you're going to like tell me that there was something otherwise. But the sad part is it turned a lot of good people into very scared, angry people. But the reason why I'm not upset is that I think they were doing their best. I think everybody was doing their best. And so what are you going to, you know what I mean? You can't, I mean, you can be upset at the entities that kind of turn people into that, but you can't really be upset at them for trying to do the right thing, I guess,
Absolutely. And that's the thing, like we're all subjected to being propagandized, right? Like we're all subjected to it no matter what. We're constantly being sold to. We're constantly being, trying to be convinced to do something like that they're trying to get us to buy fucking, beauty products so men want to fuck women, right? Or empowerment or they're trying to what's really weird, what's really strange is seeing how and I'm not judging anybody and I'm not trying to shit on women or anything, but how
I'll judge them all. No, I'm just kidding.
well, yeah, I think judgment is an important part about being human. It's what kept people alive back when we were just throwing sticks and rocks at animals and each other, right?
Right.
But so being judgmental is very
I'm
important.
to somebody right now. What are you talking about? That ain't no path.
Oh,
But those rocks. Let's
but,
go.
But it's like it's so strange right now when you see how things are being sort of twisted into this, I don't know, into this sort of deviant, like is it split, and nobody should be talking to each other if they don't agree with each other. It's
Oh, yeah.
it in every facet of our experience right now, in media at least. We are being told to not talk to our neighbor. We're told that that person's bad. We're told that they're anti-vax, or we're told that they're
Mhm.
racist, or they're homophobic. Whatever it is, we're being told not to talk to each other, and that's
Um,
what really
this isn't
bothers
the
me.
first, this isn't the first time. You
Hmm.
know that. It's
No, I
like,
know.
I mean, how do you rule a people? You keep them separate from each other in their bubbles so they can't talk and conspire, and understand what's happening. So, I mean, we've seen it through music. Why do you think the Beatles were so like upset back then, and
Right.
all these people they saw all this stuff going on? You know what I mean? Like tons of it, and that's just a small example. Like there's tons of it throughout history, but um, you know, how do you how do you move past that in the information superhighway age with aka the internet, where things get blown out of proportion and stuff? I guess that's the real question is how do you protect yourself against the internet?
It's hard, especially when you work with the internet and work
Yeah.
on the internet a lot. I mean, everyone's subjected to being propagandized into believing one thing or another. So it's hard, especially for me, because I do find myself going down these rabbit holes and then starting to get worked up, and then I'll be like, oh man, do I really feel like this? Is this really how I
It
think?
ruins your day. It ruins your
It
it
does.
ruins your day, and then sometimes you have to remind yourself to go outside and touch grass, man, and get the fuck out of this thing. I literally posted a video on Instagram the other day because Aiden Somerville, which we know is a musician from Twitch, like we've joked about it before about just starting a little trend of like taking a video of you going outside and touching grass and tagging someone else. And so we did, and there's dozens of people that did it on Instagram, for my post. But I was going out to check the mail, and I just hung out outside. It was a gloomy kind of rainy day, but I was outside. I was like, "Fucking, I'm touching grass, dude!" Like, and I took a video. But you just have to get outside. You can't keep staring at your phone or like the computer all day and all this shit. They're feeding you a bunch of nonsense.
Yeah, it's so strange too, because those phones are so addictive, and it's so addictive by design, and the fact that there's always been sort of back doors for the government to sort of enter you're being able to access your phone.
Right.
There's the government's always been able to access, especially with the Twitter files. We know that now that the government's always been able to access the like these social media platforms. We already know that they fucking have control over what we see on TV and
Well, didn't you
programming.
post a while back? Like, I mean, we already know this, that like apparently the internet was just I mean, it's government owned. It's
Yeah,
it's it's
yeah.
put it out on purpose. It's like this is all like, how else are you gonna get your information? Everybody on the planet, and like
Right. And how else are you going to overthrow other governments, right? Other
soon-
than going boots on the ground and sending in, agent provocateurs and stuff like that. Now all they have to do is just start flooding Google with a certain message in a certain area that they can target directly, and they can start changing minds and ideas just,
Mhm.
over just a couple of weeks. They can just get you to sort of buy
Yeah.
into anything, and that's why it's so dangerous. And I think you're right, going out and touching grass and being outside, and
And go
really,
fishing. Get out, go fishing, go do something.
yeah.
I
And
mean, even if you have to pay fucking $400 for a damn fishing license these days or whatever it is. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
well, they don't want you doing
go
that.
fishing.
They don't want you
Yeah,
fishing. They don't want you gardening. Did you know that gardening now is the
I saw it.
one of
I
the
saw it.
biggest contributors to
Mhm.
global warming?
Yeah, yeah, I saw that. I saw that article. It was pretty funny.
now now if we garden, guys, if you grow your own food, you are killing everybody, okay,
Yeah,
and generations to come. So don't do it. All right, don't fish because it's too expensive. Go get a fucking fillet of fish from McDonald's. I
yeah,
hear they're gonna lower their prices because things have
yeah.
gotten a
God
little expensive.
forbid that you like teach yourself how to feed yourself.
Yeah. So that's really what it's that's what really it's just something that It
Yeah,
fucks with
like
you, man.
avocado farms. What Jason Mraz is in trouble. Jason Mraz is in some heat.
What happened?
No,
What happened with Jason Mraz?
owns avocado farms. He owns
Oh,
the whole
doesn't.
business. Mhm.
We'll put that on the list of things I do. The government doesn't approve of. Yeah, they don't like you growing your own stuff. It's so strange to me that how invasive it's all gotten. How much we're not able to sort of make our own decisions without government daddy coming down and fucking trying to put a stop
Daddy.
at it.
Pa.
Yeah, like Sky Daddy, News Daddy, all of the daddies. You should see my garden. Wink, wink. Nader, tater. I do want to see your garden, baby. Um, yeah, but dude, how's Atlanta going, man? How is the move? Like, it's been a while. I wanna.
Jesus Christ.
What?
Did you just dox me?
Oh, or did nobody knows where you live? I thought.
I'm just kidding.
Oh,
I
okay.
mean, you can say Atlanta. I'm not exactly in Atlanta.
Right,
But
right.
yeah. It's all right. The last couple weeks have been a little interesting because the entertainment company that books me out here, that booked me last summer and booked me through this winter. Just they put out the schedule quarterly
Uh-huh.
for the year, so 3 months at a time, and I can math well. You see that? But they gave me the least amount of gigs that I've had since I moved out here. And this is
Whoa.
supposed to be the beginning of the busy season. So it was very unexpected. So currently right now, things are a little shitty.
Oh
we'll see
man.
how it works out. But if you got any gigs in Toledo, Mike, I'll come up and I'll come up. I'm not even joking. I'll come up for a weekend and
I
play a
will
week. I'm
fucking fuck some gigs up.
currently booking right now. Like I'm not even joking. Like
Oh,
I'm booking all over. Since
wow.
everything's close out here on the East Coast, like South, Northeast, Midwest, all that. It's just so close.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
that was the point of moving out here, I suppose.
Damn, that's crazy. So they
Mhm.
they got you out there, and then
Yeah,
now they're sort of. Did you try
yeah.
talking to anybody? I mean, I'm sure you did.
I did. I talked to the owners, yeah, and they didn't really give me any answers. They kind of deem me as like the new guy, and
Uh,
that's why. But at the same time, I think it's just I, all the venues that they have on their roster I've already played. So like these places love me and they want me to be their weekly, like
mm,
regular gig residencies, but that's a problem for that entertainment company. You see, and so, but at the end of the day, I think coming out of the slow time of year, where everyone was probably hurting a little bit from a slow schedule, I think they gave all their friends
yeah.
the bulk of the gigs so that their friends were good coming out of the winter and then split the rest amongst the peasants. You know what I mean? It's not the first time. It's just, you know what I mean? You just don't really expect it when it comes along. And so it came along and now I have to troubleshoot, which I'm tired of jumping obstacles, to be honest, but,
Yeah.
it's been a long 6 years, been a long
Yeah.
40 really.
Right.
but,
Well, no, I
but
mean,
let's
like
see.
you've been a musician for so long and working gigging
Yeah.
so like hard, and like you've bought and sold houses and stuff off of music, and you've done so many amazing things off of music, and then like like I feel like this has always been your thing, and I feel like this is a lot for a lot of musicians thing, right? Like it's not something that's guaranteed. It's just something
Mhm.
that you have to sort of go and drum up when shit gets weird, and you're used to being weird, so it's I mean, I can only imagine that's a little bit of stress, and I don't know, man.
um I haven't. So there was a time, like, so I mean, I've been a full-time musician for basically 18 years
Wow.
and touring for 23. And so I've seen some things and been through some things, whatever, but you work really hard, and at some point your hard work turns into consistency to where it's not a guessing game.
Right.
And I did that, and I had a full-on great space for almost 15 years in Central California. And then the pandemic came along. And then coming out of it, because of how the West Coast handled it and continues to handle it, even though it's not even happening anymore and they can't let go. Um, they've crushed all the work and all the. They took a 15-year career at that point away, and now it's 18 years, and I'm on the literal opposite side of the country now
Yeah.
because they took all my hard work. Like they did a lot of people's, like, like 70 something percent of all the small businesses in Los Angeles are gone.
Right.
They're gone. Like restaurants and shit, they're gone. The mom and pop stuff stores, gone. Like it's all fucked up over there. So this is a very abnormal thing. It's a very abnormal inconsistency for me that's going on right now.
Hmm.
Over the last 4 years in particular, it's been wild, jumping through hoops in a way that none of us have had to jump before. Somehow I'm still sitting here and we're doing it. We're we're figuring out, but Jesus fucking Christ, like Hugh or Christie, dude. Like let's be real here. It's this is just the after effects of shenanigans, and I shouldn't have to deal with that stuff, but neither does anybody else. But we are, and you're gonna have to figure out making your way.
Yeah, man. It's definitely been crazy. I know that in Toledo, like where I'm at,
Mhm.
it completely changed the whole scene here. The
Yeah,
pandemic did, and Toledo is a much smaller market than Atlanta or even Central California. And
right.
so what it did was it made a lot of musicians get regular day jobs. Is what it did.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
what it did.
If there are jobs available, depending on where you are,
Yeah, exactly,
I
exactly.
know a friend last night that lives in Ohio, and we were talking about gigs and stuff, and he's like, "There's just nothing to book.
Hmm.
There's nothing to book for anybody." Um, most of the venues, because they weren't like bottom of the barrel. They were mid-range band playing venues and concerts and whatnot, and those places are either gone or literally have just like downsized completely their operation, and
Yeah.
there's just nothing available. So if they want to get out and grind and tour again, they're going to have to tour way away from home.
Yeah, it's a lot of people have been replaced by Spotify playlists and
Well,
and, and
mo-
jukeboxes.
most musicians on a bigger scale, if you notice the concert schedules, there are so many less concerts out in the West Coast. We pretty much have Florida. That's it. Like people are touring Florida, and you know what I mean? That's it.
Yeah.
Like there's no money anywhere else, like as far, and no consistency of work for touring bands. So now you're limited to maybe like a third of the country or half the country instead of the whole thing.
That is so fucking bizarre, man. It's so bizarre that it's like, why would you want to take away people's entertainment? Why would you want to consolidate so many small businesses? Why would you want to do such a thing that's going to affect people in such a negative way?
I mean, it's $1 million question, isn't it? Like who knew who really know musically? Like, I mean, musically you can see why that happens in the music realm. Outside of it, I'm not sure if the same formula applies, but I mean, music history, like, and you know what where the term "go get a real job" comes from, and how much like being shit on as a musician is like even the best people we know, like it's and when times are tough, music and art gets leaned on the most for anything, for peace of mind, to get through all the things. And it is the last thing that gets protected and gets built up and picked up when it's down. And when times are good, no one gives a fuck. They care about themselves. And so, um, and then you just get the artists sitting back, having they make art for peace of mind and um, for their own sanity, and it helps other people and all of those things. Uh, but they don't really necessarily get. I mean, look at the streaming space. We've been having conversations over on Kick pretty consistently lately. There's a gentleman a streamer by the name of Hey It's Rough, and he does a lot for the music community. Last night, he did something that he does pretty regularly now, like once a week, and he'll have musicians come in and just highlight them They'll have them play a song live or bring in a track you have or what have you, and try to bring awareness because the viewership is so low on Kick for the music community already, but as a whole the viewership is down. And then, but because music is so new and niche across all streaming platforms, um it's uh it's just wild. We always ask, like, why is it that you have a lot of viewership for degen shit or whatever it is, like minuscule, whatever the fuck it is, something else, and then you have these talented people that are playing music or what have you, and you can't get viewership to save your life. Like, people just don't care.
Yeah.
But and there's no answer to that. It's not like I'm asking, like, there's not really an answer of why, in my opinion. But there's certainly a disconnect, and maybe it's because you don't have to think in a degen stream, and maybe when you're listening to music, I know it's being real, like,
No, I know.
I know. In a music sense, like, you have to have some capacity of attention span and, like, balance, like, you know what I mean? You have to think a little bit and what, about your feelings, about whatever is going on in the song. So maybe that's part of it. I don't know, but people, again, people do not protect and build up music or art and those things. And by build up, I mean to support it monetarily, to support it by sharing stuff like, publicity and things like that. They don't do that. Even the best people we know. And that's not like a knock, and it's not me calling them out and be like, hey, you're a piece of shit because you don't. I'm just saying that, like, you got to recognize what it is, and I'll call a spade any day of the week. It's just, there's people working hard out here to bring something to the world, and not just like what was popular on Twitter this week with some fucking streamer that, like, put a airsoft gun that they thought was a real gun to the head of, like, another woman in his stream as a prank and whatever. You know what I mean? People would rather share that shit and talk about it than share the good stuff or involve themselves in good things. They'd rather be in the car wreck.
Yeah.
That's just why do you think the news is the way it is? Car wrecks sell. No one cares about the dog that got saved down the street, even though they love dogs,
Yeah.
But that's not bringing you ratings. It's going to be the journalist that comes up on Princess Diana, you know what I mean? And, like, takes pictures of her while she's dying instead of calling the ambulance, like,
Oof.
that's the world we live in.
That's dark right there. Yeah, kids rather listen to AI rap. Well, no, but
Oh,
you.
the AI, oh God, don't get me started. The AI music, the AI fucking posters I see thrown around everywhere. It's just so ridiculous. Like,
Oh yeah.
the artists don't just type in a fucking sentence and have the internet give you something like that. Like, it's so fucking lazy. I can't, like, explain how lazy it is. And now with AI, with music, and again, man, I could go off for days. It's not like, it's like buying beats, and people buy songs and then sing over it and, like, have a good, and I love all these people. There's some great talented singers or whatever that don't play instruments, but it's lazy. It's lazy to not learn instruments. Mike, you know this, you're a musician. It's fucking lazy to buy somebody else's art, put yours on top of it, and then say I wrote a song. Like, it's fucking lazy.
I
Like,
did
I'm
it.
all day.
Yeah.
All day.
Yeah, no,
All
I feel you, man. I feel you. It's definitely a shit show out there, and
this.
I mean, from every level too, right? Like, it's not just like it because it's going to the way of, like, with AI, it's definitely going to the way of people are just gonna generate beats and then they can either rap over it. And even now you can they have the AI voice generator, so you could use your own voice and
Can't
just
even
have it.
tell half the time now. It's gotten that far in just a year. Remember, I think it was you that posted the other day, like, on
Yeah,
Instagram.
yeah,
But in a year from where AI was with voice generation to now,
yeah.
holy shit. Like, you can't really even tell at this point, and it's only going to get better. You don't, like, there's so many people I hear, all I hear is auto tune over everything. When people don't think that musicians know, like, the layman might not know, and They're the same person that'll buy the same 8 chord progressions and same fucking songs they've been selling in Nashville for 30 years. Like that formula that they figured out that people like. And they've been doing it. It's not a coincidence like this, you know, any musician, and we all know it's like, that's a thing, but like, you can't even tell like what's real. But I can hear the auto tune when somebody does a run and inflection. I'm a singer. I pay attention to the little idiosyncrasies inside of a run. You can hear the robotic, that little fucking monotone auto tune thing. And it's like, you don't really sound like that. And then I tune it. Some of them are streamers, and then I tune into their stream. I'll lurk and I'll see them like in the process of writing a song or whatever. And when you're in the process of writing, there's always flaws. Like you never sing completely on key unless you have perfect pitch. There are those people, but
those freaks.
Yeah, freaks.
Freaks.
There are people that are born that way, or it's wild. Like I played with a singer out actually in Youngstown. That's how I moved out there. My buddy Joe. He was born with perfect pitch from when he was a kid to now. Soul singer, just never hit a wrong note. Not even when he was fucking around writing. When you're fucking around writing, typically, you don't worry about being on key. You're writing a song or whatever. But if you can sing, there you can tell. Like there's not that much mistake. But I'll show up to these people who bring in a track that's like they sound amazing on the studio performance, and then I go to their stream and I listen to them fuck around or singing. You could tell they can't really sing. They can hit a run here and there, but like they can't really sing. And then you relate that, and it's like, that fucking song's not real. Then you hear the auto tune underneath the voice on everything. Pitch correction is one thing. People use that to save time, and it saves you money in the studio.
Yeah.
But there's a distinct auto tune amongst the majority of it, and it's fucking wild. They're tone deaf. If they're tone deaf nators, they shouldn't be singing. That's just what tone deaf is, a real thing, and it's not
true.
good.
Yeah. I mean, me and you both have seen people who are like, just they can't get it. They just don't get it. They can't hear it. They don't know. They just don't know how to access it, and it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It's not everybody can. It's not a novel. You know?
But you know, like as this all progresses, we're going to be, you know, like you said, album art that, you know, we're putting out these graphic designers with producers, like they're getting, you know, if you can just generate beats, you don't even have to sing. You just can be a fucking face, and then just type in what you want and it'll go. And
1000%. Music now is on the cusp of being turned into the AI poster.
Yeah.
It is now not real anymore. Like it has, in a lot of aspects, it's already been there. And anyone who's played on a professional level and been doing this long enough, and especially playing with people who are far better than you, like, and I've been very lucky to, you already know, Mike, like my old house in San Diego, you know, all the boys and girls that came into that house. Like that's just
murderers, son.
World class. And they literally play for world class talent. A lot of the records that people listen to now have our friends on them.
Mm-hmm.
Those people are getting shafted.
Yeah.
They're getting shafted. We all are. It's a fake thing, and people should not be championing this fake world of not learning an instrument and not learning your craft and just cheating it with the computer and AI. Like it's cheating it. Sure, you might emerge some new kind of art out of that, maybe, but it ain't right now.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, no, it certainly is not, and it's not there yet. But yeah, like you said, in a year, and here's the other part about that is like there's so many people going to be put out of work, and I think that live music will always be sort of a thing until
it's fading away. Playing live, like anybody who's been doing this long enough can be a realist and say, it's falling apart at the seams right now.
It really is. It really is. And the only people who really have any chance of like making money, like on a large scale, are people who already have a huge audience, or like Taylor Swift, who is going to make like $2 billion off her world tour. and then everyone else is just, you're fucked. And
Yeah,
eventually,
we've passed the point of all that stuff, and I mean it's already happening. Like Nader's joked about not tipping for a karaoke bar. Like I totally get that too, but you have to understand that it's already become and has been known over the last like 5 years. People consider karaoke live music.
Hmm.
They market it as such at venues that we have live music here, and you'll come in and it's karaoke Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? Like that. It's not. It's already changed. The terms are changing. People like to like language is powerful. This goes into another discussion. Words matter and they hold weight. And when people start saying something and make it trendy in some way, it takes shape and becomes truth
Yeah.
and it becomes fact. And so like karaoke and all that stuff, it is now called live music in a lot of places.
Wow.
And that right there just took another chunk of the gigs from actual musicians who play an instrument. Now, some would say adapt or die. And I don't know, man. It's a choice, and maybe I would choose, you know, more so I'll just kind of lay down and die and bleed for a little bit, you know. Um,
Yeah,
that's
just bleed out, and they'll
yeah.
find me
Yeah,
eventually.
what was I saying? Was it what movie was that? It was there was like a quote like that in like a movie is like Braveheart or something, or it's like or like some famous fighter or something back in the day said it. Like I'll just, lie down and bleed for a little while and rest. You know.
Yeah. Well, I think that adaption is going to be like just having to work for a fucking basically be a slave to the man, have to work at whatever corporate approved location that is hiring, like Amazon, right? Like we'll just all end up working at Amazon at some point because we're just because you're right, we're disposable. Musicians, art is disposable at this point. I mean, I saw the like Tyler Perry, right? And he's actually in Atlanta. He put a
Yeah,
whole
I almost rented a place near him.
mm, yeah,
It's very
he halted a 800 million, almost $1 billion expansion of his studio because he
yeah.
saw that video AI Sora, and he was like, I'm not going to spend $1 billion. And it's like, why wouldn't these companies who spend millions and millions of dollars, why wouldn't they save millions of dollars on not dealing with people or egos or attitudes when you can just punch it into a computer? I mean, it makes sense on a business level, and that's what sucks about like art and business is that at some point you have to make a decision like, hey, is this viable? And it's not just like, hey, let's just experiment and see what works and have
been
fun.
it's been for years it's not the music business, it's the business of music, you know what I mean?
Mm.
It's been that for a long, long time. And so,
For sure.
but what drives that even faster is when the cost of living in every facet
Yeah.
goes up and you have to find a way to survive. Um, you know, it's just it's like it's like when certain restaurants open around the country, and then you would think that style of food is going to taste a certain way, and it doesn't, and it's because they're having to cut corners on ingredients, making things correctly. You know what I mean? To be able to have a business and survive, like in which in the long run doesn't work out very well anyway. But it's when you have to cheapen your product so that you can still have one, you've already lost. And that's kind of where that Tyler Perry situation. I mean, who knows how long he'll have it there. It's just cheaper to own a business here or start a business for now, just because it's not a tax heavy state. That's why a lot of people that's why Atlanta is booming the way it is, and it has more work than most in a lot of areas, especially it becoming a food capital of the country over the last 8 years or so. Um, that's a huge part of it. Um, the cost of having a product is so high that you have to cheapen your product to stay around because you don't have the money to build something quality. This is where you get AI and these are all adaptations of a bigger problem. I don't think they're necessarily just being innovative and changing the course of science or mechanics and machinery and these things. I think it's a bigger problem going on. That's just my my humble fucking dumb musician opinion, but it's I mean, I'm living it right now, like in real time. The book's being written right now and we're like all part of it.
Yeah, we definitely are, and it's
Where'd
like
you steal
scary,
that baby, dude?
huh?
You selling that baby or what?
Yeah, man, I'm broke. I need some money. Who?
See what I'm talking about? Adapt and fucking overcome.
White baby for sale. These things are worth a lot.
Hey,
Irene at sister.
Matt says hi.
what's up, Mateo?
Anyways, the baby has been sold, folks. Sorry. That was quick.
Right?
That was quick. They love them a white baby, let me tell you.
This nose says anything but white.
Whitish baby, yeah, you're right. Listen, I'm trying to market it right, okay, Robbie?
It's albino. You got to say albino so it's like more worth more.
Oh
you know?
yeah, more
Yeah.
exotic. She'll be
Unique,
more, yeah. This is-
unique New York.
Unique New York, unique New York. No, when you see these, like the automated McDonald's, right? There's an automated McDonald's in Texas that shit. They all they need is one person for now to go in there and fix it once in a while, and you just saved so much on insurance. And again, you're dealing with people, and people tend to, especially working at McDonald's, you don't get the best and brightest people, and nothing wrong with it, but you know, there's some assholes who'll come in there, don't care. They're just like, I work at McDonald's, bitch, I don't care. You don't have to deal with that anymore. No health insurance, if they even get health insurance. There's just millions, thousands and millions of dollars to save by just automating it. Let AI. I just saw this other guy who has a tech company.
It's okay. My kids are whitish too.
Yeah, exactly. You got those little whitish kids.
Right.
They go for a pretty penny though. I'm not gonna lie. We've got
Damn,
some good
this-
offers. Some good
This
offers.
podcast got dark right now. You're talking about selling babies. Let's go. Let's
No,
go.
Phil, I'm not saying that everybody who works at McDonald's is a dipshit. I'm just saying because we've all been there.
I'm just kidding.
Well, we've all been there, and especially when you're first starting out in life, you find these jobs that are offered to us that, you know, young kids get to work. You work at the ice cream fucking stand or whatever, but it's like, but when you're talking about the idea of business and dealing with kids, especially, I mean, dealing with kids in the workplace is awful anyways. I mean, kids, especially kids these days, fuck me. These kids, they don't, words
You sound
matter.
like such a dad. You are such a dad, dude.
I don't care. I'm at that level of like, get off my fucking lawn.
Get off my lawn.
Get off my goddamn lawn, you son of a bitch.
Kids don't understand.
These kids these days, I'm telling you, there's this completely lost generation of kids, and you know, I love them. I have family members who are kids, and I have kids and stuff. But it's like, fuck, dude, they become so sensitive. They become so brittle. They just become so brittle. You know what I mean? Like, you just blow on them and they break.
Well, I mean, there's two sides of that. There's people that are more vulnerable now than ever, and learning that, and I think that's an important thing. Obviously, that stems from the don't talk about your feelings as a man when you're little.
It's nice, but
it's cool. That's, you know what I mean, you should grow and get better as humans, you know, and so it's part of it. But there's the overtly sensitive and the I'm so like, maybe it stems from, like, in this country, I just think it's an American thing mostly, is that when you grow up, like from when you're a little kid, you're taught that you're special.
Yeah.
And that you can be anything. And it's not true. It's not true. Like, you can't be everything. You're not born with all the attributes to be a fucking NBA all-star or like a whatever, you know what I mean? Like not everybody can be anything, and it needs to be more taught. I think that you need to work hard, and hopefully you can get into whatever avenue you want to. But but the reality that you probably won't if it's certain things. Like you're not special, man. Like nobody. We're floating around a little pebble around a ball of fire, dude. Like like it's in this big ass universe. Like it's not all about you. And I think in this country, it's like a me thing.
Yeah.
So that's where the cancel culture comes in. It's like, don't offend me. It's like, no, man. Like that's how you find the answers. It's like having a conversation that's uncomfortable. Like you can't just be surrounded by an echo chamber all day and expect to grow. That just doesn't work, you know? Like there's certain things we agree that shouldn't, you know, you shouldn't say, but without people saying those things, you wouldn't know the good things. You wouldn't, it would all just be this fucking monotone hoshposh of lame ass, non-exciting people.
Yeah, and that I think that's a like because there's a little conversation going on.
Haters, safe space. Get real.
Where's my safe space? But that's a good because people want have this idea that everything should be fair, and it's not. It's not
Yeah.
fucking fair. It's like Phil just said that he was fucking homeless and he had to figure it out. Robbie had a great leg up in life and he figured it out. It's like people fucking have different starting points. And and there's never gonna be an equal way of doing this shit unless you force that onto people. Unless you force utopia onto people, then it's never gonna be that. And so the sooner
you're talking about like, I mean, quality of outcome is not a good thing, but quality of opportunity is everything.
which would be great. Which would be great if that was something that was possible and we could all sort of get around that. A quality of outcome is not, because not everybody is gonna fucking get like, and even Robbie just said is like some people with his background just waste it and become fucking they just become spoiled little fucking little kings, right? They just give me this now or I'm mad and now I'm gonna do drugs because daddy didn't give me attention because he was too busy making money, and like it's just. It's not, and some people that are homeless, they just stay fucking homeless. Like my father-in-law was homeless for 50 fucking years until 6 months ago when my wife had to go and drag his fucking ass off the streets of San Diego in his own piss and shit and take him back here to Ohio, where now he has his own apartment. He has his groceries delivered to him. Like he has fucking like 6 doctors.
Do you think that not only because it's being around people who care about you, but because I think that's probably like the main thing, but do you think that was maybe his situation was a product of being in the West where you get browbeat financially as hard as you do, and being in the the Midwest or Northeast where it's cheaper and it's a little bit easier to get back on your feet and to get
No, because he's actively fucking been homeless for a long time, and he'll tell you that he's fucking, and then he'll have like excuses that he hides behind and stuff, which we're over. Like we've had to tell him several times, like, listen, we don't care about what you've gone through. It's like it matters what happens now, and some people sort of get trapped in these. In these ideas of themselves, and they're so up their own ass that they can't see past.
Yeah, you become your own story that you tell.
Yeah, and it's like, listen,
they're all just stories, like,
dude,
and you can change your story whenever you like.
This dude came up to me. I was at like a grocery store, and I had the family with me, and he comes up to my window, and like I knew exactly what was gonna happen.
I read Nader's comment.
Where's my
acoustically correct chainsaw? Right.
Exactly. Well, he came up to my window, and like immediately I knew what was going to happen, right? Like I knew like what he was about to ask, and he goes right into his fucking sob story. Hi, me and my family are in a hotel across the street, and we don't have enough money for food and gas and blah 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 blah. I'm like, what do you need? I just stopped him. I was like, what do you want? And I was like, I don't want to hear that. Like, what do you want? He's like, well, I was gonna ask for some change because I was like, listen, if I give you some money, will you stop talking to me? And he's like, oh yeah. And I'm like, okay, cool. And so I gave him the money. Now that sounds insensitive, but I don't give a fuck. I've worked a long time with the homeless. I know how fucking people act. I have family members that were homeless. I know what's going on here. You're fucking just telling me your sob story, and I don't want to fucking hear it. When I worked with the homeless, like directly, I fucking shut that shit down as soon as they start because I don't give a fuck. What matters is what's happening right now. And if you choose to stay in your little fucking sob story, that's not my problem. You need to fucking like today, right now, start fucking moving forward because I don't have time and I don't care. Like I just do not care. I love people and I love helping people and I love that I can touch and inspire people because I've been, in shitty situations where I've been fucking begging for money and like I know what that is. I know what addiction is. I know what being sad and miserable and depressed is. But I don't fucking care about I don't care about it because if you're not trying to do something to move forward, suck my ass. Who touched you? Lots of people. Diddy did it. Diddy did it.
Sure wasn't Drake.
It was Drake and Diddy. Dude,
touch you from fucking one side of the country to the other, apparently.
Whew, fuck it, dude. That Diddy shit is crazy, dude. He was out there like massaging assholes and shit. Like it's
what is going on in this world? You just fucking man.
No, really. The whole Diddy thing is interesting because he's pretty much like the Jeffrey Epstein of the rap.
I don't know a whole lot about it. I vaguely brushed through your post the other day.
Yeah.
About it, but
well,
you'll have to me.
Oh yeah. Well, okay. So he is fucking. So there's this dude named Lil Rod. Wiggle wiggle.
wiggle wiggle wiggle.
Oh hey. Listen, in the right circumstance, a little butthole massaging ain't bad, right? Okay, I'm not, whatever. But so Diddy is being accused now of basically sex trafficking, having sex with underage girls, drugging people. He had cameras in every room of his house, so he was filming people. He was using it as blackmail.
Oh, he's basically doing everything that Hollywood's been doing forever.
Exactly.
Like and women, all of them.
Yes, yes, exactly. And he's just getting caught. So why at this point is he getting thrown under the bus when his mentor was Clive? Is it Clive or Clyde Davis? You know what I'm talking about? He's a record producer and he's been accused of some shit too. And that was his mentor. And so exactly, there's a lineage of this shit that gets passed down. And then for whatever reason, Diddy got it. He's getting it right now. It's like it and this ain't shit that happened like years ago. This is shit that happened last fucking November, right? Like last November, he was massaging assholes, drugging people, having sex with underage prostitutes. It's fucking crazy.
Sex worker, bro.
Sex worker. My bad. Sex worker.
Stop it. Just stop it, Michael. Stop it.
I'm a fucking bigot, aren't I?
Fucking terrible bigot.
So it's really interesting what's going on. And I feel like it's such a prevalent thing, right? Like like you even indicated to it. It's like, you mean like what every single fucking person in Hollywood and the entertainment business does.
It's not surprised anymore. Like you hear all these stories. It's not a Hollywood problem. It's a money problem. You're talking about people that have nothing better to do, but when they have like the power to have no one around them that tells them no, like, and there's not a repercussion, you just start getting weird, dude. Like that's what these people do. If you don't have anyone telling you no and you have no threat of consequence, because you have the money to keep it under whatever wraps you want or whatever it may be, like people start getting really fucking odd. Look at Bill Gates, dude. Like, I don't know. Like the guy, like it's just so weird. Like everything about it is fucking odd. Everything. Anytime you have that much money, like you just
he in particular is weird too, right? Like when he was he's associated with Epstein. And did you ever see that clip where he's like has that he's talking to that lady and she kind of sandbags him, right? Because he thought he was going to be talking about like one of his foundations, and then all of a sudden she's like starts talking about Epstein. he gets visibly uncomfortable, and then he says, "Well, Epstein's dead." And so we saw what.
I didn't
Oh
see
my
that.
God! Let's go! Let's fucking go! All right, hold on.
Oh, he's pulling it up. He's pulling it up. He's pulling it up, folks. I'm
Bill
ready. I'm ready.
Gates.
This is what I love about coming on this podcast. I never know what's going to happen, and then Mike tries to get me riled up in some way, so we start spitting fucking whatever facts we think we have,
Oh,
and then like he starts showing me YouTube shit. I
reported
love
that
this.
time,
This is like
that
Mike's like
you
my
had
National
a number of
Enquirer.
meet-
That's like
oh well, this is
like
more
the
than-
like we lost that year for the we just aged ourselves knowing what that is, but it's
Yeah, now
So
that's
true.
called TikTok. They call that TikTok now. Let me see. No one
Bobby.
ever knows what will happen. Yes, that is absolutely true. I don't even know what's gonna happen because my brain is like a fucking freight train and going in several directions at once. So,
like you sang a blues song to me right now. I don't even know.
my brain is.
Trains like 'em, freight train. That's just like
It,
that's a good lyric, dude.
Dude.
You're writing and you're an artist, you're a poet, and you don't even know it. Look at it.
I'm a poet and I don't even know it.
Hey, look at it. You're writing songs. We're writing hits right now.
It's fucking hits, bro.
You just gotta say the words and then you just type them into AI and let them do the work, and we'll put
It's
out
the
songs right now.
best way to do it, bro. It's the
Can we put out an AI album and see how it does? I feel like we could come up with some good ideas and we could just let AI do it. Fuck it. Let's just beat them. Join them.
them.
See what.
Okay, so this is what? Oh God, damn it! Hold on. So this is
Hey, she looks like a fucking alien. If they're, can we just start talking about aliens? Because that's what this really is about.
we can. Although
Yeah.
the Pentagon just said that there's no evidence of aliens, but all these UFOs they're saying that they
Are they
indicate.
backtracking? They said aliens were real last year.
No, now they're saying there's no evidence of aliens. That these are probably government drones, is what they're saying.
That's how you know there's aliens. They
I
got
agree.
us.
I agree. So we'll watch this, and then if you want to shift to aliens, we can go to aliens, baby.
Fuck all this. Like, this isn't even important stuff. Bill Gates. What's important about that guy? Don't answer that. That's rhetorical. But like, let's talk about aliens. It's so much fun.
All
Look at her forehead. Like, she's certainly an alien.
Well, or a lizard person, like there's a lot of lizard people out
I
there.
mean, is it like Biden wearing a mask? Is that where you're going with this?
I mean, we can get there.
I'm just kidding.
we lost Matt. All right, here we go. Wait, God damn
We
it.
lost Matt on stream. Hey, dude, bring me back.
Oh, you're okay. Hold on. I gotta.
Come on, dude. Give the people what they want.
They want to see that beautiful face here. All right.
Yeah.
There we go.
Talking about aliens, man. Leave me hanging dry out here.
All right, here we go. And this is PBS NewsHour. So I thought it was
Of course, it's PBS. Let's go.
fucking hippies. All right.
It was reported at that time that you had a number of meetings with Jeffrey Epstein, who, when you met him 10 years ago, he was convicted of soliciting prostitution from minors. What did you know about him when you were meeting with him, as you've said yourself, in the hopes of raising money?
I had dinners with him. I regret doing that. He had relationships with people he said, would give to global health, which is a interest I have. Not nearly enough philanthropy goes in that direction. Those meetings were a mistake. They didn't result in what he purported, and I cut them off. That goes back a long time ago now. So there's nothing new on that.
It was reported that you continued to meet with him over several years, and that, in other words, a number of meetings. What did you do when you found out about his background?
Well, I've said I regretted having those dinners, and there's absolutely nothing new on that.
Is there a lesson for you, for
This is
anyone else looking at
He's
this?
so upset.
Well, he's dead, so in general, you always have to be careful.
Wow.
And I'm very proud of what we've done in philanthropy. Very proud of the work of the.
He's like, okay, Bill, pull it back.
He's like, basically, well, I mean, so he's dead, and don't fuck with me.
Yeah.
It's like what I gathered from that moment. Wow,
That's
dude.
exactly what that was. That's
Holy moly, dude. And
exactly.
his sincerity on like on on global health, like who the fuck is this non-medical, non-doctor person, like who appointed him in charge of global health?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think he did. I think he put
Yeah,
himself.
yeah.
He's out
Yeah, I
there.
wonder.
Does he? He has a doctorate. He does not have a doctorate. Does he really?
A doctorate in what?
Hold on. Let's Google that because
It's
Google.
honorary, but he has it.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Like Bill Cosby is a doctor. Bill Gates is a doctor.
Mischievous, we're in the weeds with Mike. Mike is you know how this goes. Mike's
Hey, mischievous, welcome in. Oh man.
he's turned it into let's fucking get Matt riled up hour. Let's go.
well, these people who fucking who claim to have our best interest at heart, they always tend to be the people who fucking who hate us the most, right? Like, yeah, and Obama has a Nobel Peace Prize. Exactly. He murdered more people than George W. Bush did. Pretty awesome.
More bombs than all the presidents combined. Like, just crazy.
Obama.
That's
Obama.
I've never heard that one before. That's new.
I think
new.
I heard it on a podcast, so it's not mine. But it's these people who like put on this, barely can put a face on, right? They barely can squeak out a fake smile. It's like the Newsom dude, that fucking Newsom fucker, dude. Like he has that same thing going on. That I feel like he's a lizard person. Let's see, Newsom.
He's a terrible dude. Like I had a good friend that worked at his winery actually.
Oh
For
yeah.
a long. Yeah, and this is before he was in office and stuff and trying to get into office. But I mean, he's just nasty, dude. Like just as a married man in there, sleeping around with young women and things like that at that winery. That's a real thing. Like that's just, yeah, he's not a good person, dude.
I tend not to care about what people. I mean, it is a reflection, right? Like as somebody who is enough.
Yeah, everybody makes mistakes, but you don't want that person that makes those kind of mistakes making decisions on the populace.
Always making, right? Like, because it's not like he got caught and then he stopped, right? Like, it's not like he got caught at a restaurant during fucking COVID when no restaurant should have been open. It's not like he stopped doing that, right? Like, it's not like these people stop doing the things that they get caught at. They just try to find ways of not getting caught. But the problem is that we have the internet, and then
you should hear some stories that my other good buddy has to tell. Like that, actually, he works for a catering company that just happens to get hired every year for 3 months out of the year to cater at Bohemian Grove.
Oh my god!
Yeah. A place that people don't like to think is real. Yeah, it's real.
Like how can you not think that shit's real? How can you not think that these people are meeting up, talking to each other, making backdoor deals in small little rooms with their cigar smoke?
I can get Mike riled up too, you guys.
They have their little fucking sex workers walking around. They have dudes that are blowing them all the time, which nothing against dudes blowing dudes. Hey, blow dudes if you want to. If you're a dude and want to blow dudes, right? But it's like, fucking don't stand around, act like you're some fucking Christian holier than thou asshole who fucking who wants to get elected on the next turnaround or who's trying to get favors. Like the thing is that these people aren't even the ones that who have the real power, right? Like these people have millions of dollars and they're dealing with people who have billions of dollars, right? So it's not like these people actually are making any calls, right? They're not making any policy for people. It's the same reason why fucking Nancy Pelosi can do all these insider trading. You have people actually following her trades because she's so good. Who do you think when people call her that fucking that have more money and power than her, you think that she doesn't answer the phone? You don't think that she's fucking out there just saying whatever they want? Oh yeah, Ukraine, we have to fucking send more money to Ukraine. Oh my god, fucking Ukraine. When like 10 years ago they were considered the worst fucking country in the European Union. Like, get the fuck out of here with this shit, man. These people fucking are slaves to other slave. Like, we're slaves, right? But they're slaves to a whole nother echelon of power that we, I don't even know if we can truly comprehend it. I think
No.
we can talk about it on the sidelines, but to actually think about, but to actually understand what that is, like, I don't, it's beyond me, man, because I don't know. People are corruptible, and as much as people want to be here and be like, "Well, if I was in power, I would fucking do what's right," and some people are
Yeah.
that, but I don't know. When you get somebody in there and you show them,
No, that just reminds me of like Stanley Milgram's research, from back in the day, and his social experiments that he did. He caught a lot of shit for with the, in the science realm, like and then like his work was repeated at like Stanford. What was it in the underneath the
football
Stanford?
field.
It's the library. Like
Oh,
they have like the library, whatever, and they basically had groups of students. Half of them were prisoners acting as prisoners, and half of them were the officers. And in less than 24 hours, they lost their mind in this experiment, and they started to abuse and rape and beat up these acting inmates, these students who were pretending, and they're pretending to be officers. But it was social experiment stuff. But that's what they found out in those experiments is that everyone is capable. You could sit here and like act like a good person or what have you, but you get put in a position of power, and especially with finance involved and things like that, you just start to become something else. And for those people in that experiment, it took less than 24 hours, or it
yeah.
was like or 36 hours or something like that. It was something really short.
Well, I was reading this article about
Mm.
how power truly does corrupt. That's one thing to say, like,
Mhm.
power corrupts or corrupts. What is it? It's power.
Yeah, and look at Stanley Milgram. He like taught at Yale and Harvard. These are like the top two schools, that produce more of the elites than probably any of the others.
He conducted a obedience experiment conducted in the basement of
Was it
Lynn's
Yale? Yeah.
at Yale 3 months after the start of the trial of German Nazi war criminal Adolf Eichmann in Jerusalem. The experiment found unexpectedly that a very high proportion of subjects would fully obey the instructions, albeit reluctantly. Milgram first described his research in the 1963 article in the journal, blah, 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 and later discussed his findings. So, like, I'm guessing that they're trying to find out why and how Nazi soldiers
Yeah.
were
Well, he
so obedient and doing
the
horrible
basis.
things.
Yeah, the basis of his work with he wanted to know why good German men that were trying to provide for their families were capable of such horrific things that they did to the Jews there, and that was the basis for his research and stuff like that. And it's crazy because later on, like even like these forms of a research or like trials or whatever that he did, some countries turned them into game shows. They had literal game shows on television in their countries doing some of his experiments, and they were bar none. They ended up the same on live television. They ended up the same. Where was these fake kind of things, like meaning like one of the ones that he did that was big, and there was like a docudrama made of it with I want to say not Ewan McGregor, but or maybe it was Ewan McGregor. I can't remember the guy's name who played the main actor. But anyway, they would have like two quote unquote patients walk in a room, but one patient didn't know that the other one was actually working with the program, and they would put them in separate rooms, and one would be the person who administered what they thought was a shot if the other one got an answer wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And and they had this person in the other room. They had recordings. It was like an employee that were in on it, And so they would have this person like ask a question, they would get it wrong, and they would administer the shock to them. And progressively the shock would continue to get worse as they got things wrong. And they found, in fact, that like it was like something like 95 or 98% of all of the people who did those trials with like a few thousand people. Not only did they finish administering all the shocks, but they didn't know when to stop. They kept going. They would keep going until they actually stopped the experiment and then let them know that they were part of an experiment. They caught a lot of shit for that at the college he did it at Yale. Yale got on him about it back in the day, and so there was a kind of like a controversy about it. But it's those things that movie, The Experimenter. That's a really good movie too. It's an interesting.
What's his name? Peter Scott. Was that the guy who played it? Is Peter what?
Was it? Yeah, he looks like Ewan McGregor to me, but yeah, that
Peter,
guy.
yeah, Skarsgård. Yeah, he's the guy who played it. He's actually a really good full voltage.
It's a really good movie. And then he, I think, in his elder years, got like some form of Alzheimer's or something like that, or some kind of type of disease along those lines and things like that. And it's a story about like kind of him and his wife as well. Like Winona Ryder plays his wife in the movie. It's really good, but it's an interesting thing. And when you dig into the research of it, it's like, oh man, this is crazy, you know. But point being is people are capable of horrible things, but the human species is very good at following orders. That's literally what you know, these tribal systems that we have. Like that's why we have them, because that's what works with people.
Yeah, it's true. It's just ingrained into our DNA, right? Like it's just
Primo. Full voltage.
Full voltage. Primordial. Welcome in, buddy. Have you?
I've always found this stuff interesting. Like the human, as a musician who deals with reading a room and reading people's character, and like I'm not perfect at it, but I would consider myself a good judge of character through the trial and errors of being a musician and like performing, and you learn the mannerisms and characteristics of people, and you see them, and especially to watch it during the pandemic was very wild when I was playing on these outdoor patios and stuff. And, you know, it was just a weird experience. And this stuff is always interesting to me. Like,
yeah, for sure. You do have to, if you're going to be a musician or any kind of performer, like you do have to be able to feel and read a room. And you don't know where.
Primo. He said Matt wants to will the crowd to give good tips.
You're fucking right.
That is you damn right.
You're fucking right. It's what play into the room, man. Work the room.
Music is like a service industry. Now, this is why like when I stream and stuff. This is what I refer. It's online busking. It's nothing short of busking.
Right.
And it's and you openly fall into the arms of the people that you hope really like what you do and want to support you so that you can continue doing it. And that's busking, you know. There's nothing short. There's nothing different about it. Like it's that you're reading it off a chat instead of hearing someone fucking yell you're an asshole to you in the street or shut up or move or whatever, you know what I mean? But it's that, you know, there's no difference.
Yeah, that whole idea of like work in the room, that's something that you really have to learn, man. You really have to learn about how that works, and it is a form of manipulation, right? It is a form of manipulation where you're willing or you're incentivizing people to give you money or to hang out
of certain sorts. Of certain sorts, you know, like. You know, you like when someone asks you to play a song, like, and you can or can't, like, you know, you try to play what that is, and I mean the core of it. Hopefully that person appreciates it enough to where they monetarily support you so that you can live, and that's what you're doing. You're playing for your life, like quite literally.
Wow.
And that's why it's so draining, like the whole streaming thing, you know, and stuff like that. Like coming in here, you know, you come in here and do it 4 or 5 hours a day, whatever it be. Like, I mean, that's why it wears on you. It's like when you don't have that reciprocation, and you're just continuously giving, you only have so much gas in the tank, you know, and then you have to take a step back and refill and, you know, rest and that kind of thing. And sometimes that's not having a very good stream. That's, you know, or not streaming at all, which for anybody who's trying to make a living, it doesn't serve you to not stream,
Right.
even if it's a bad one.
Yeah, just just doing it and putting yourself out there is just how it works. And
You might get lucky and make $5 more than you had. You know? And it's funny, I say that jokingly, but I fucking mean it. Like,
oh, I know.
that's exactly what it is. You know,
It's
virtual hustle.
it's a rough gig, man. It's a rough gig, and people, I feel like it's easy for
Yeah,
people.
primo for sure. I feel that too. Serves me to not stream.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes, right? Like I love it, and I have a job, so I'm not completely worried or dependent on it, which, at one time, if I was streaming while I was, full-time gigging, it would be like super important for me to be on here, even if I was tired, even if I didn't feel like it. It's like, hey, get your fucking ass in there. You gotta fucking
You go to work. You go to work.
you gotta
know?
get your work done. But for me, it's really fun, and I enjoy doing it, and I'm not worried about the money aspect. Money's great, but it's not something that I'm like sitting here begging people for, because and I'm not saying you're begging, right? Like, or anybody who's on here.
Begging's a different thing.
Yeah, of course. But like you've been to some streams where people are just like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find you. This money's so bad, and you please.
Right.
And it gets cringy and it's weird, right? And everyone can feel that shit. But for me, it's just something that's actually an outlet, because I'm not gigging as much as I used to, and I'm not doing music like I used to. So for me, it just becomes a meditation, a way to stay sharp, a way to, because a lot of times when I come on here, I have an idea what I want to talk about, and then we start talking about different things, and we get sidetracked, and we start learning about shit together, So it's like this fun thing for me. But I imagine for music streamers, on one hand, it's nice because you can always hide behind the songs. On the other hand, it's like fucking... It's a tough gig, but I don't know, man.
Well, it's like I mean, for people who do it like and actually mean what they're doing, I think it becomes like a virtual journal that's interactive with you, because you're venting, sometimes, or you like your people that have been there for so long, like your friends, even if you've never met friends.
Absolutely.
So like you're just talking about your day to your friends.
Yeah,
There's
absolutely.
a difference between that and someone being, I need someone to give me money right now. Like fucking do it or get out. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's a difference and there's some streams that are like,
yeah, I've seen that shit. I've seen that.
Like, bro, like, get out of here if you don't want to give me money. Like,
It's like, this is a tipping culture. We have a tipping culture here. So if you're not tipping...
I mean, there is that, though. I will be honest. I will be real with that, though. Like, it is... I mean, if this is a supply and demand culture, it is very weird to step into a stream space where the culture is for everyone to give you things for free, and that's it.
Right.
So there is a balance between, like, some of that and stuff, and making your community aware of, like, what that is without being rude or offensive. Because there's a reality. You have to live. They have to keep the lights on.
Yep.
That's just what it is. Like, if people enjoy what I do, they would have to support, only because, like, we need to keep the lights on.
Right. Like, I can't do it without your support.
And if not for me, like, I'll stop streaming completely and I'll go get a job. And that's where my 4 or 5 hours of my day every day will go. It will go somewhere else. It won't be live on this camera. Will I have more fun doing that? Probably not. But would I need to if this doesn't do that? Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's the reality of it.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? Like, especially when you start seeing the streamers, like I love Risky Biscuits, right? Like, those guys have it down where they're just like, look, we get so many requests. Like, if you're not fucking subbing or tipping, it's like we just can't get to it. Like, we have to prioritize people who are giving us money,
sure.
and it's
1000%.
not like some scam, and it doesn't feel scammy.
It's real.
And it's real, because like they put so much effort, so much money into that fucking setup, that and to run that, and then to have to live their lives, because I'm pretty sure what Justin and what's they're both like full-time musicians, so like they have to fucking, this is like part of the gig, man. And you
Well,
too.
yeah, like this is not for the faint of heart. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how much of the room you can see on the camera. You know what I mean? But like, this is not for the faint of heart. You know what I mean? Oh, you can't see.
Hold on,
He's got
I think I can put you up front.
Uh,
I don't remember if I still
yeah.
have.
just everything has a price tag on it.
There you
know
go.
what I mean? Like everything has a price tag on it. All of this stuff.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like this is not free. And it's me investing in myself. But again, it's with the hopes of if there's more people that like what I do and things like that and want to help this journey along so that I can bring more art or good times to them, it takes help. And I'm out here to put myself out there saying I can't do it by myself. This is a two-way street, not a one-way street. So
Absolutely. Absolutely.
you
It's
know,
like you would never
like-
show up at a gig where they ask you to play and then be like, oh, you can't afford to pay me. Oh, okay, I guess that's cool, right? Like
I know.
when we go out into the world and play music and for a bar or for a venue, there it costs money to get out there. It costs like it's a whole fucking thing. So why wouldn't you reciprocate that on this level? And I get why. I get why it's like people just like it's free. Like you're just on here, so what do I give a shit? And it's like fuck, dude. Well, this is my life. This is what I do. So I mean, support it or get the fuck out.
Well, it's not even like a get the fuck
I
out. It's
know.
like support it or not, and it's cool either way.
Right.
But understanding that like
It won't be
Like,
here.
if you do enjoy it and you want it to stay around, I need help to be here to do it.
Absolutely.
And I'd rather do this than something else, but it has to be a two-way street. It has to be. So we can all continue having good times together. Like if it's not gonna, if it doesn't happen that way, then we can't,
Primo, it's
valuable exposure.
Look at it. So it's he also wants to know how much for
Primo?
how much for the Suarez.
How much for the sport? It depends on what you're hiring me for. Everything's negotiable. What's up?
It's a Diddy type of deal.
Well, I don't know, man.
You know what's the most fucked up part about the whole Diddy thing is that the guy who went through all this shit because he was a producer and he grew up in the church, in the gospel church. He's a prodigy. He fucking he ended up not even getting paid. Like at the end of 2 years of being like molested and drugged.
He got the starfish played with.
Yeah.
Is that the payment?
I think so. I think that's what did. And the fucked up thing was like they nominated that album that he worked on. They nominated that for a Grammy, and like he didn't end up getting paid. It was just
these details should be discussed privately.
Yeah, it's true. DM.
Don't worry, man. I'm gonna launch. I'm gonna launch an OF page soon. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. That's the new. Do you know that's the number one most lucrative job that people have? Like, what was it last year? They did like a poll out of what like the most money was made. The OnlyFans was like the most successful business.
You mean it's not laundromats or fucking car washes?
No, it was something like that. Somebody was telling me about this the other day. I haven't looked it up yet, but they were saying that was one of the most lucrative, successful businesses. Deacon, what up, dude? What up, dude? Deacon Radio actually runs a podcast. Apparently, I still have to check out the episode he sent me, but he wants me to be on his podcast too.
Oh, well,
so a musician podcast.
Deacon, bro, let's link, baby. Hold on, I gotta follow you.
Deacon, you should link up with Mike.
Let's
you guys probably
go.
have
I just followed you, Deacon. So it says here, according to Statista, as of August 2022, the highest paid OnlyFans account. Oh, are those musicians? No, that's not what you're talking about.
No. Yeah, that's not what I'm talking about. basically one of the most lucrative businesses that's out there. Period. Basically, doesn't matter the numbers or whatever, but that leads me to like, fuck it, dude. Let's start an ON fan. I just found out, dude. Did you know this, Mike? I just found out that apparently, males that do hand content, and it doesn't even have to be like a sexual thing, but like, I mean, I'm sure it is for people who pay for it. but like men who make hand content make a chunk of a living on OFs.
I like
I
it.
didn't know that.
Or feet.
Yeah.
If you have nice feet. Do you got nice hands? Do you got nice hands, Matt?
My hands are beat to shit, dude.
Yeah,
from
me
playing
too.
music and stuff. Mine are calloused and fucked up. But that's like, I've been told by a friend that like that's how I found out about this. A friend of mine that does OF was like, we were at this festival. And Mike was at this festival too, but not this year, or not that year in particular. But we were sitting jamming in the green room and with a bunch of friends, whatever. And she was like, dude, your hand moves really fluid, like on the guitar. I was playing guitar, right? And she's like, if you made hand content, like you can make a living on OnlyFans. I was like, what? Like what? And she's like, no, like not even a sexual way. She's like, no, like trust, like making a good artsy video of different hand content with you playing guitar with close-ups on the fretboard, just that. She's like, I was like, dude, wait a minute.
I mean, like if it means that you get like those subs and like fucking number
Primo's,
one.
I've never gone on that site. I think you're lying.
Well,
Primo.
there's plenty. Exactly. I never understood that, but I guess the difference is that it's like it's pornography directly for you, made for you, because you're paying this person and they're gonna do like butt play or whatever. I don't know, but
You said that's a great band name, butt play.
fuck, it's a dope place for musicians to connect for fans live. Yeah. Your deathcore, Deacon Radio. What
Primo, I
do
don't
you only do deathcore? Is that what you're saying?
clubs either. It's a tease. Well, I
It
can
is
see
it.
that.
Yeah, I hate strip clubs. When have you ever been to a strip club, Matt? Be honest.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you like it?
I have friends that work in the industry. It's fun.
Yeah, me too. I do too. But
It's not like something you go to every day, but it's fun. When you're there with your friends or whatever, especially if your friends are working.
Never. I
It's hilarious.
never have fun at those fucking things, even if it is the homies hanging out. I never have fun because I get so weird about it just makes me uncomfortable for like the last time I was at a strip club, I was in Austin for we were playing South by, and fucking we went in there, and this one stripper, it was dead in there, so this one stripper zeroed in on our table, hung out. She was just trying to get some sort of money, and none of us were coming off it. And they were making eye contact with you, but it's like this dead-eyed stare that is just so uncomfortable. I don't like the idea of giving money to for this. Like it's just icky for me. I don't like it.
What if it was me dancing, Mike? Will you give me money?
Oh fuck yeah, baby! All you gotta do is start fucking swinging.
He's just particular. That's all it is. He doesn't like the game. He just didn't like the players that night.
Exactly. I like long-haired bear types. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Start swinging your hair around.
Now we're onto the real juicy right there. Dude.
No, but the feet thing too.
Please
Like,
don't ever let me say juicy ever again in my life.
no,
This is your fault.
I want you to say juicy. To me,
All right.
juicy is juicy.
It's another good band name. Maybe we would just cover Hot Boy Summer. That's it.
I think that's it. It'll be.
Remember when we sang Hot Boy Summer at Willitown Festival?
I've sang Hot Boy Summer and Boobs at Willitown before.
Yeah.
I don't have any more. I have. Oh my god, I have a new song, but I don't think I can ever sing it for anybody ever.
Oh, dude, wait. Do you have it right now?
I just wrote it. It's not cool.
Drop new bop right now live.
It's a country song, and
bro, you have to drop chat. Please.
No.
Chat.
I
Please
don't
make this man drop the bop right now.
Raina's saying no.
Raina, sister, put sister on this mic.
She has her hand. She's knuckle deep in shit right now. But no, it's about finding love. with a person who
This
is
sounds, Naders, this sounds deep. I feel like we need to hear it.
go to strip clubs for cocaine. No, it's about finding love.
Get at her. Figure it out. Figure it out.
It's about finding love with someone with mental disabilities. So-
Damn, Mike's coming out with fucking controversial bop, dude.
I literally I don't think I can sing it because and like I only have like 3 chords for it too. So like
Mike's gonna get us both canceled right now.
I don't-
Let's hear this bop.
I don't think that's gonna be okay.
Sing us a verse. Tunes. Come on.
It's
He's-
Phil does Phil,
Right,
Phil
Phil?
wants to it has the R like it's the hard R word and not the N word but like you know the R word and like that's like the focus of like that's like the hook, right? Like it's not good. Okay, hold on. I'll read the lyrics. Maybe I won't sing it, but maybe
Read the lyrics,
Oh,
you might as well
no,
sing it. I
no.
mean, the words are just awful.
Raina hates it. Raina
you
hates
can't-
it.
You can't just read. You will certainly get canceled if you just read that. Don't read that page without no music. Don't
Well,
do
I don't
that.
have music. Okay, so it's a country song, right? Primo has his hand on the cancel button. Fucking give your balls a tug. Okay, so, God damn it! Hold on, I need reverb. I don't have any.
That's how much you don't want to sing it that you're gonna put reverb.
Yeah,
on.
it-
Stop lying.
You
want
need
to
music.
sing
You
it.
don't do it
Otherwise you
without
wouldn't.
music, or else it's just gonna be real,
Gross that
real
you're
like.
proud of it.
Well, I don't have my guitar here, so it's okay. So it's I met her at a bus stop with her earmuffs on. Her eyes were too close together, but that body was bomb. I couldn't understand a single word that she said. But damn, that Downsy girl gave me real good head, 'cause she's retarded.
Oh my god.
Hold on. Oh yeah, cause she's retarded from her
Right.
head to her feet. She's retarded, but she handled my meat. People say we're crazy, and that's just fine. 'Cause that little retard will always be mine. Don't make a loud noise or touch her head. She has the strength of 1,000 men. That's it.
I can only imagine Raina's face right now.
She's horrified. She is. My son
Raina,
was.
I'm horrified. Raina can't hear me, but I'm horrified. Look,
It's not a good song. I told you it wasn't a good fucking
love
song.
but it's not your conventional love song.
But he loves her. Oh, thank you for the follows, guys. I appreciate it.
Holy shit, Mike. That's reaching deep. That's a non-conventional love story, I'll tell you that.
Well, have you ever saw that video? It's about inclusivity. That's right. Have you look? Mighty's offended. Don't use
I thought
that
you were going to ask me if I saw ever like What's Eating Gilbert Grape, but I thought we were going to talk about movies.
No.
But, like,
There's that video where it's that girl. They just show this girl from the backside, and she has like yoga pants on and like a tight.
so you went to the Starbucks today.
Uh,
Is that what?
No, she has a tight like wife beater on, and then she turns around and she's like downsy as fuck, right? Like she's super spectrum. Phil, thank you for the 100 bit.
And this tells you a lot about the community you built. This tells me a lot about what's going on in here.
Oh yeah, Booger Bill's gonna request that song. The dentures were removed. Gross. What is it?
My God.
Hold on.
Are you venturing in the realm of stand-up comedy? Because I feel like you kind of are like.
No.
It was like a real question.
No, I would never. I don't have the balls for that. Thank you very much, Phil. I appreciate that those biddies. No, it's dude. It was because I saw this video where this.
My wife, she got hella views.
Listen, I just think it's kind of catchy, right? Like it has like that. Okay,
You're
but like,
gonna make a lot of people who are a little more sensitive to that kind of thing upset for sure.
listen, I have people with mental disabilities in my family. Like, you know,
And we probably got them ourselves. What are we talking about?
I'm on the spectrum somewhere. I know it. Like I got ADHD. Doesn't that put you on the spectrum or something? I don't know. It's
I
like,
mean, what are you trying to say? Because you have it, you can say it. Like, or is that you trying to pull the card? like, damn, dude.
sloppiest
Mike just
homes in the Northwest.
it's me, so it's all right.
Look, I could say it, but you can't. That's just I'm a gatekeeper for that word. I can say it, and no one else can. No, it was because I saw this video where this like really hot girl who had like Downsy or something. Like you couldn't tell she was Downsy until you saw her face. But like had a bomb ass body, and like all the comments were dudes just like, I'd still hit it, I'd smash. Like it's just fucking
The
how.
internet is wild, regardless. Like,
So like in my head, I'm just
spend
like,
an hour on Twitter, and your life is forever changed, whether you like it or not.
do you know? You've had this experience before where something comes to you and it just flows through you, like you just, and it's like the best, like your best songs are like the songs that just flow out of nowhere, right? Like you've had that experience, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
you know exactly what I'm talking about. That's what this was, bro. It came to me all at once. Okay, like I knew what the chords were and everything, and I'm just sitting here. It's like I can never fucking make this song, even though it's. I understand it's horrible, but it's so fucking funny in my stupid fucking head. Like I'm just sitting there like, you know, like I can hear the slide guitar, I can hear
I mean,
the
to
fucking
be fair,
violin.
you did use one of the 8 chord progressions that Nashville's used for the last 30 years.
Exactly.
So you did.
It's a 1-4-5 thing. It's a 1-4-5. Okay, like I'm not.
Bloodhound Gang has a sound like that. Oh yeah, they have a few. Like do you think if Bloodhound Gang came out today, would they be successful?
Wait, do they have songs about where they say?
They got some wild stuff. Yeah, yeah. God, it keeps getting so bright in here.
Oh shit! Hold
What
on.
is this date?
Sorry guys, sorry. Okay, here you go. This is the girl right here, and she has her own like thing going on. It's this girl. Look, it's this girl. It's this girl. Like, look at she has a banging ass little bod, and look at she has ass for days, but she's downsy as fuck. Okay. Like it's cool, you know. I like much love, and I'm glad that she's putting it out there. And she like, I think her name's Kathleen Humblestone. But let's see. I will not be hearing anybody. Oh wait, if she's down, I'm down. Right? That's body goals right there. Wow, you're really gorgeous. I mean it. Like you're seriously gorgeous. Okay, stunning. There it is. Now we're seeing a bunch of. You are amazing. Wow. Okay. So, anyways, listen. Okay, like that girl right there, who I should be following. Holy shit! Like, look at her. She has a whole fucking TikTok. I didn't even know she had a whole TikTok. Oh my god, this is amazing. Hold on. Oh no, not auto scroll. Hold on, let me make sure there's not like.
First, I was Sophie in Perfect.
Mike's about to get
I was
canceled
in
for sure.
Line of Beauty, and I love it.
Hold on,
Like, what is happening?
hold on.
I'm a model and actress. I do modeling for Vivid Island.
Deacon, Jesus
I did so
Christ.
many London Fashion Week. I am an actress. I was Sophie in Perfect Tea. I was in Line of Beauty, and I love it.
I love it.
I don't care what people think, but I have that syndrome. It's my life. I feel that modeling is my dream come true. Yeah, I love who I am. I don't care what people think, but I have that syndrome. It's my life. I feel that modeling is.
I'm sorry. I'm not laughing at her. Like, I love that she embraces it and she's not afraid of who she is. But that's amazing. Like, I need her. Does she have an OnlyFans?
Jesus Christ.
Look, all I'm saying is like, I'd smash. Okay, like I'm not gonna lie here. All I'm saying is, and if I could get her to sing on the song, or if I could get one of them to sing on the song, I think it would be okay.
He said one of them.
If I can get one of those people to sing on my song, I think I could do that. I think I could release that song. No? I mean, she has a smoking bod, bro. Like, are you saying she doesn't have a smoking bod? Are you saying she's not stunning and beautiful?
That's certainly not what I'm saying. but I will say.
Are you saying
that
she's
this
not
podcast-
brave and stunning? I mean, I feel like you're not giving her a chance.
Mike, you wrote a beautiful song.
From her head to her feet, and she plays with my meat.
Only pretty on the outside.
One of Epstein's Island survivors, the one that got away.
I imagine that. So that's one thing that like really, that's probably the worst part about the internet. The freedom that people have. Not that they have freedom, because obviously we want that, but the freedom that they have without repercussion, like to destroy a thread. Like people say some heinous shit
I agree.
on the most random posts, like wishing violence on people and like some crazy shit. And like,
Yeah.
I mean, shit that you would never say if you were standing in front of that person. Never. And if you did, there'd be serious repercussions. Like it's just, we live in a weird day and time where it's okay to say whatever the fuck you want behind a keyboard. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I find it real wild.
No, well, I'm sure I'm about to lose my Twitch account, so I mean, we'll
For
see.
sure. You're gonna be on Kick full time.
You guys find me on Kick.
Yeah, Kick and YouTube would never let you down. They're never gonna kick you off.
I you know, and again, like I have no ill will towards fucking people with mental disabilities, and you know, like I love all people, but
Well, you wrote a parody song. Like, let's be real.
just-
It's just a parody song.
I would never be like, hey, fuck, you know, hey, you stupid R word, you know, I would never ever do that. But would I sing a song about being in love? I think I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's a fucking love song, man. That's all. It's a love song.
Well, there's genres for that. Love songs.
Exactly.
There's genres.
People made entire careers on it. I'm just saying, if my bro went for a girl like that, they'd be endlessly joked on. I mean, probably, I guess. I mean, look, if someone finds love, because like this girl wants love, obviously she wants attention. She's on the fucking internet. She's putting herself out there. I
Or
think,
there could be a dark twist to this story where her caretakers
oh,
were using her to put an account up and making money off of her. And the internet's vile, so like
yeah,
it could be that. You don't know how much like mental stability is in that person or her parents or caretakers or whatever. It could be all. I mean, obviously, especially like I'm not going to get into it, but I've seen the wildness of the internet over the last month and a half, 2 months, and it's not good. It's ugly, and you don't know. So maybe she's not capable of doing or knowing that what she's doing in that, and someone's taking advantage of her.
well, now
It's
you
very
made it
possible.
all sad, fucking Matt. Like, what the fuck,
You know.
dude? Before I was
I mean,
just
it's a reality though. Look at the parents involved in like Michael Jackson's case back in the day, the parents of those children and stuff, like what they were doing and making money off that whole thing.
yeah, it was horrible.
There's a lot of stories like that where people that don't have to be on the spectrum or what have you, could just be old enough to, young enough to not know what's going on. And there's people out there that take advantage. So maybe it's something like that. Mom's behind the camera looking the same way.
Oh,
Wow.
well, no, and she even says on her profile, it says, "Mom with account run by mom with K breathing down her neck, whoever K is." Ooh,
Oh, okay.
that sounds
So,
like it could be.
so that's what I'm saying. Like, that's like a family
Hmm.
thing, and like that just makes me even more kind of nervous about it. If I was to pay attention to it any longer, it would be like, uh, are they? It's 50-50 these days. Are they celebrating her courage and love for herself, or are they taking advantage of it? Because
Exploiting.
I would be willing to bet that she doesn't operate her own bank account.
Mm. Shit, bro. God damn it! You made it all fucking sad.
No, but real. Like, you got to be worried about some of this type of shit.
Well,
And like,
sometimes
why
some
would
of us don't want to live in reality. Okay, some of us
this is
want.
very the Twitter is proof of that, especially in the streaming world. It's fucking weird.
Shit does get a little strange out there. Uh, no, dude, with Michael Jackson too. Like, I just was like, I don't think he's a weird dude, right? And there's a weird hanging out with little kids, right? But like,
No,
I
I'm
just,
sorry, I just Primo's comment.
what if she isn't really down?
What if
Yeah. Is the age of consent different for mentally disabled, or should it be? Oh shit.
people will exploit anyone and anything? That's what I'm saying, Bill.
Hmm.
1000%.
Yeah, it's wild, right? Like, no, I do feel like Michael Jackson was taken advantage of. And when I was we were doing some research and we were watching some videos on here, and like, I don't know, I don't think that Michael Jackson touched those kids. I think it was something else.
No, I don't think I personally, after watching everything and all this stuff, like, just, I mean, my roommate and I were heavy into those crimes, documentaries and whatnot, and went through all that stuff. And even now, like, you kind of go back, but we sifted through all of it and stuff. And it's just, I'm not an expert or whatever, but from my own perspective of what I seen, I saw a dude in Michael Jackson that had his childhood taken away from him, and that wasn't the normal adult, that just liked to be around people that were probably of his own age caliber mentally in certain aspects. And then I think that parents took advantage of that. And if you look back on it, like, I mean, the law enforcement and FBI were trying to arrest him for decades because they were trying to make an example out of it. He was speaking out on a lot of things. It was a lot of people with big money that he was not speaking kindly about, and they were defaming his character every left turn that they could. And the biggest part of all of that is knowing that law enforcement was coming after him and wanted to arrest this black dude. And that's the core of it. They wanted to arrest this dude and shut his mouth, and they had no evidence. They couldn't find anything.
Right.
They couldn't even plant the evidence because he was so protected of just like knowing that people were coming at him. Like, he didn't do anything like that. So if they couldn't even like get him on in anything, like, it just, if the law enforcement, like FBI and CIA and whatnot, if they want you, they're going to get you. And they couldn't get him.
Right.
They just couldn't get him. They tried openly in the public. So that tells you that he probably didn't do anything.
Yeah.
And
Go
a
ahead.
weird situation because of, I mean, and let's be real, like his father, I mean, his father was terrible. Like, I mean, Freddie Jackson was terrible. And but I
Joe.
will say, and that poses an interesting question later on, but he literally beat his kids into the superstars that they became.
Wow.
They had the lives and the money and the fame and the stuff that they had. Not that that's success for everybody, but at that time, and especially with them, that is success. And he beat them into success, which is crazy to say. But then that comes to a question. It's like, I mean, without him doing that, does so many childhoods were better because of the music and art that he put out and who he became and all those things. Then it's like, well, where does I mean, obviously you should never beat kids. You should never, like, you know what I
Just
mean?
beat
Like,
it. You better stop.
It's just crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. But out of the rubble, out of the pressure and coal comes diamonds. You know what I mean? Like out of the, and so it's great. That whole situation is wild. But all said and done, I don't think he touched any of those kids. That's just
Yeah.
like my
I
own.
don't either. Well, and I was looking at this.
Maybe I'm wrong too.
Well,
'Cause
yeah, I
don't
mean,
know.
maybe,
I don't
right?
know
Maybe he
shit
was.
about shit. Let's be straight with that.
Maybe
I don't know
he's.
nothing. I'm not an expert.
Maybe he is.
Amusement park had signs that said you have to be this small to ride.
Michael.
Stop it. I've actually been like near there. Like, I mean, that Neverland Ranch was outside of Santa Barbara County. Like,
Oh,
you know what I
really?
mean? It's like, yeah. So it's there. Like, I actually, there's places that I've played not far from there, wineries and things like that or whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
crazy.
I mean, so here was a weird thing. So there is this guy named Fahim Muhammad who was the head of his security at the time that he died, but he went to school for business and real estate, and yet
Yeah.
a year later he ended up being the head of his security.
Mhm.
So it was just him, the doctor who supposedly OD'd him, and then his
Yeah.
kids. And so what's interesting about Fahim Muhammad is that he is Diddy's fixer, and Diddy
Yeah.
is named in the court documents that just came out. He was said to be Diddy's fixer who had connections with the LAPD, and if you're ever in
Mm.
LA or Miami, call Mr. Muhammad. He was like, if anything ever happens, like Diddy and his son allegedly fucking shot some dude in this LA studio, called Fahim Muhammad, and the cops came, and the cop, after talking to Fahim Muhammad, was like, hey, the cops were like, oh, it must have been a drive-by, and then somehow he got in here, even though there's blood in the bathroom and like there's blood everywhere. So it's very strange to me that this guy who went to school for fucking real estate was the head of Michael Jackson's security, one of the most fucking popular, one of the most famous men to ever fucking walk the face of the planet. He's this young dude straight out of the fucking college, is the head of security and one of the last people to see him alive, and then becomes the fucking the fixer for Diddy, and is able to get Diddy off of murder and fucking shooting people. And there's something weird going on. And then when you look at it, Michael Jackson talked terrible about Tommy Mottola, who was
Oh yeah, that big thing. Yeah, I just watched a short documentary on that stuff.
What was
Mariah
it?
Carey's ex-husband or whatever.
Exactly. He talked so bad about him. He was buying Sony. He bought half of it. He basically bought half of
He was fighting them back. He was fighting them off, and he had the capital to run it. And it wouldn't be, not saying that it is, but I would say that it would not be surprising if these people offed him.
Exactly right. And then you have this guy who is somehow connected to him, Fahim Muhammad. You have, I mean, and not to go after the Jews or anything, but like he was talking terribly about Jewish folks.
He was at the time.
I mean, that he had a whole song where he was saying "Jew me," and they don't care about us. If you look at the lyrics, he drops the K word in that shit. So it's a very
it's wild. It's wild. That was a whole like thing, and like because he was very good friends with Mariah Carey, and Mariah Carey would vent to him about what Tommy Mottola, and then that's who owned the record label too, and all the nasty stuff. And he was a Jewish man, and then all this stuff. But I mean,
and it's not to say that all Jews are bad, because that's what exactly people are going to say. Oh, you're anti-Semitic. It's like, no, there is a good amount of Jewish people who are involved in the fucking entertainment industry. There's no doubt about it.
You're about to Dave Chappelle yourself right now.
Well, I'm just saying that there are good and bad of everything. There's good black people, there's bad black people, there's good white people, there's bad white people, there's good fucking Native Americans. Do you even say that? First Nation. There's good First Nation and there's bad First Nation people. All fucking races, creeds, and colors have good and bad people. And a group of people who have a group of money fucking will get together and conspire some shit. We know this. Jeffrey fucking Epstein. We know that this shit is it happens. This is what happens. And I don't think it's anti-Semitic to say that these people were conspiring against Michael Jackson and possibly did kill him. I think it's just saying that people can be evil and they're tribal, and it's what we've been talking about, right? Like people are tribal, people with power, they don't care. Their entire brain is warped. Like on a physiological level, your brain becomes something else. Like they did a whole study on how power corrupts, and this is what that is, man. Like people
with too much money, dude. Too much power.
What the fuck is First Nation? It's the natives. How could you even prove that in any place? I don't know. Whoa, bro, I am Neapolitan
Nope.
and very offended by saying
They're
Epstein's
saying
still
alive and in hiding. I haven't seen that.
I don't know, maybe, but I think there was
I mean, Hitler did it. Wouldn't put it past. I wouldn't put it past anybody. Hitler most likely. What was it? If you look at all the stories back then, is Hitler most likely died in Argentina?
Yeah, that's what they were saying.
Yeah, his right hand man definitely died there, and like there's a whole. I mean, that whole population. Like that, they're just saying that that's what they kind of faked it back then, and that's how they got him out of there, and they moved.
I just watched Oppenheimer. Have you seen that?
I haven't seen it yet. I heard it was really, really good though.
It's fantastic. I mean, fucking Christopher Nolan's an amazing director, writer, producer, and shit. And fuck, dude, like, it's interesting to see how this dude who was completely torn on making this instrument of death, they did a really good job of representing it because they turned on him as well. They turned on Oppenheimer. And they started saying that he was a communist, and they started like after the war, after the A-bomb won the war to an already defeated people, by the way. They went after him, and they started calling him a communist, and they took away his what do you call it when you have the status, knowing the secrets? What is that called? When you have to like pass a background test because you know the secret. What the fuck is that called? Oh, security clearance. They took away his security. Yeah, thank you, Prebo. Yeah, no, exactly, Phil. That's what it was. It wasn't to defeat the Japanese. It was to show the world this. Fuck you, America. America's here, bitch. That's what it was for. But yeah, they have a special. They took away his clearance because he started talking out against it. Like they said, the way he wanted to do it was, let's drop these bombs because Oppenheimer was he was because he's dead. He was Jewish, and at the time he was like, "Yo, the Nazis need to be stopped," which they did need to be stopped. And fucking, he was trying to create something that would end all wars, and that's what he wanted. But he foresaw this arms race, especially with Russia, which ended up happening. Like he was saying this shit. He's like, if we don't shut this program down, then we're gonna start an arms race with other countries, and then we're all gonna be racing to make the biggest, baddest bomb, and eventually it's gonna get to a point where we're going to destroy ourselves. I mean,
well, it's where we're at anyway.
Exactly. And he saw that, and they went after him so hard. I mean, what's interesting about the A-bomb too is that there was this theory that once they ignited it, it might not stop, and it would destroy the atmosphere and actually destroy the entire world. So there was this. So could you imagine being the person pressing that button, knowing that there is a possibility that this reaction might not stop until the fucking atmosphere is burnt and we're all fucking cooked. So that's like crazy. There was a lot of weird shit that went on with that program. And yeah, they went after his ass. They didn't fucking, as soon as he started speaking out against power and started trying to put parameters on shit, is like, this dude needs to shut the fuck up. He needs to get the fuck out of here. And and they did. They shut him up. Again, later they ended up giving him his flowers, but it was like, his career was already past that. And
sounds like you were talking about COVID right now. Just shut everybody up, and then they'll give you your flowers later.
Don't put me in front of the red button and expect me not to push it. Ugh. But and there it is again, right? Like the power,
Right.
the power of having that kind of power, having access to that kind of power. Uh, it's not for everybody. The Jewish talk only happened after the war ended. It wasn't talked about at the time of the war. That's interesting, Phil. That is interesting. I didn't know that. Richard DeGeorge, thank you for that sub. Oh, on YouTube. Welcome in. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Yeah, man. I don't know. You should check it out because I went in deep
I'll
after that.
watch it.
I went in deep on Oppenheimer
Mhm.
after I watched the movie because that's what I do now. I'll watch a movie and then I'll go and watch YouTube videos on like everything about it.
Right.
Because I'm a fucking a nerd, I guess. Have you?
It's not- yeah. No.
I don't know, man.
Yeah,
Go
I'll
ahead.
watch it for sure.
Yeah, I also watched Dune. Have you seen Dune? Dune was pretty decent.
No, I was never a big fan of like the old Dune. Like people read the book and they made all these. It was like Dune this and that. I'm like, I get it, but it's just too fucking drawn out and boring for me. It's just not my jam.
I
Like
feel
that's
ya.
just such a long.
You don't
fucking-
like Star Wars either.
I love Star Wars,
really?
but like it was on a different. They were not on the same level. Like it was not. It was way different. Like not my jam. Especially reading. Like how long was a or like how like there's many books I believe. Like
Oh yeah,
Dune
yeah.
books.
There's tons of books, and they're all like fucking tree trunks. And it's
Yeah,
crazy.
they're all like how many pages long? And, like,
They're
each-
all-
I'm like, fuck, dude. Just
Yeah.
make an audiobook, dude. We're not living in like, even an audiobook, like have some it wasn't even that, it was the style in which they did them too. They weren't very entertaining. Like they didn't keep my attention. I tried, but it wasn't for me.
Oh yeah, because Hawaii didn't become a state until fucking the 50s, right? That's a good. That's because
Oh, right.
because Pearl Harbor. Because Phil was saying that we were dropping A bombs because of Pearl Harbor, and then fucking the Jewish.
Colonized Hawaii for sure.
Yeah. Well, we like to do that. We like to
Yeah.
do- it's good
Certainly
times.
learn how to do that.
No, I don't know. No, I feel you, man. I've been really into science fiction lately, so I've been just really going deep in some shit. Like, there's a book that I love. It's called The Three Body Problem, and it was written by a Chinese author and then translated, but it's about the idea of the dark forest and the idea like the Fermi paradox and the dark forest, and it's like it's like a civilization once they become a certain intelligence and then they start reaching out into the universe, you don't know who's going to hear that message, right? And you have
right.
and if you have to assume that if another life form hears that message, intercepts it, and has the technology, yes, everyone's hiding, exactly. You have to assume that they have the technology to come and crush you, and they will, right? It's like a hunter's mentality. It's like you go out, you hunt, and you take down the inferior life form.
Right.
It's just incredible. And so like the story, basically the story is that humans learn about an imminent attack from an alien life form, and then the effect that has on the mentality of the earth, and what people do to each other, and what ends
That's
up coming up.
interesting for sure. Like I've never been much into like I guess I can't say that. I liked some science fiction or like just fictional books and things when I was younger. But just as I grow older, like I don't really dig or I should say I don't really invest too much in fictional stuff.
Mm.
Like I like documentaries or like just reality based things, like stuff from real stories and stuff like that. If that was from like a real story, I would be like all into it. It has some similarities of what probably could be. you know?
Right.
but
Go ahead. No, it's interesting because it's not just like a space aliens type fucking, humans versus the aliens type thing. It's like it's a whole philosophy. It's and there is some like real science that goes into it. But yeah, you're right, Matt. I believe you're smart as fuck. You could be the cool professor AI
AI.
that buys weed from me and explains the complex algorithms of Tesla's theory. Meanwhile, I'm watching special ed twerk videos. God damn it.
I don't know shit about shit, dude. Like anything
Me
that
neither.
comes out of my mouth, like in anything, everyone should question whatever I'm saying. Like I don't know. I've lived long enough to have certain experiences and certain perspectives where I don't know. I don't put too much stock into certain things. And I think I shit posted on Twitter the other day. Just I don't post much on Twitter unless I'm just like going live, which no one really, who gives a fuck about if I post something that I'm live. No, you know what I mean? The algorithm hates you promoting anything anyway. So like
Yeah.
you don't really get seen much. But I posted um typically the people that say I know about something, typically they don't know shit.
Yeah.
It's those people who speak loudest in the room that are usually the most ill-informed or fed bullshit, or like this is where you get like the extreme right or extreme left or any of this stuff. When you're too extreme about something and you just see tunnel vision and you can't see the forest for the trees, like you're dangerous. Like I don't really like to surround myself with closed-minded people.
Right.
And that's kind of what it, so I have fun in these conversations. That Mike knows that. That's why he gets me all riled up and we start rattling off. Like I'm just a dumb musician over here and we're over here talking about fucking Hitler and all kinds of other stuff, or like
All
fucking
kinds of
vaccines and shit.
other
I don't,
stuff.
I don't know nothing about nothing. I just smell bullshit pretty easily. I read characters fairly well, and that's been my job for 23 years as a musician is to read a room and
Yeah.
understand what that room is giving me and what I need to give it. And when I smell bullshit, I call it out and I usually walk the other way. That's just kind of what it is.
Adolf was an artist too.
He was actually
He was
like
not
it's
a very
crazy.
good one either, but he
And
was.
he's one of the world's greatest public speakers that we've ever known, which is
Whew.
which is crazy because that's all it takes.
Yeah.
That's all it takes is somebody who can speak really well and be confident
Yeah. And
and
go
turn
ahead.
the people. And this is what we see with the politicians these days. Spot Biden, who doesn't really know where he's at, normally. But there are some good public speakers. This is why like Trump and his rhetoric like reach so far.
Mm.
He's a very good public speaker, and even at his age, he's very intelligent and very articulate. So whether he's saying something I believe or not, that's nothing to do with what I'm saying right now. Like I don't really dive into politics too much at all. I can't fucking stand the whole world. They're all from somebody for somebody who's a have-not, and I know it's about haves and have-nots. I don't like any politician. Period. Like I don't dig any of them. I think they're all full of shit, and they all eat at the same table, and you're not allowed. So with that said, there are still very good public speakers. This is why religion and stuff like that, like good pastors in a church, they could talk you into fucking anything.
Fucking your
What is
wife
it? What was it
or
in Tommy Boy?
mass
Like,
suicide.
like religion's the biggest one ever. Like, they could sell fucking ketchup popsicles to women in white gloves. You know what I mean? Like that
Oh, yeah.
they don't. You just need a good public speaker, and you can get any narrative off the ground.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, and you're right about Trump because I'm not a fan. I say it all the time, like probably every stream I say I'm not a fan of Trump because that's how much I talk about him. But it's like,
Everybody does, to be clear, because ratings. Because this is why the left can't keep his name out of their mouth, is because without it, the ratings drop. And we've already seen they've done polls and studies on all this stuff with the media and whatnot. That's why they continue to talk about him. Because if they don't, their ratings drop. That's the only reason. It has nothing to do with whether they disagree or don't. I'm sure that plays a part, but like it's all ratings for sure.
yeah, ratings, and they're trying to put out a certain message, and it's gross, but it's interesting to see someone like Trump speak on these things because when he first came out, everybody was like, "Oh, fucking, he's just talking shit and he's racist and all this stuff." But as people started to see what was going on with that guy and what the media was doing, because I was one of them, right? And I was just like, God damn, that dude sucks, and he hates Mexicans and all this stuff. But I think
gotta get them Trump shoes.
yo, those Trump shoes are ugly as fuck. He
Well, the media will just paint it in any direction that they want to and stuff, and they'll fashion again. A good public speaker or a barrage with an internet campaign game plan with marketing to form your opinion for you will happen in any of those facets. Now, I'm subject to that just like anybody. So there are times in my life where I started believing certain things and said certain things that I do not believe at anywhere near to today. You know, like I don't. There's certain stuff like that, but um, it's a crazy thing. This like, God, it's just the media is wild, dude. Like marketing. I wish I knew. I wish actually. I probably know how, but I wish I had the money to market myself the way I see some of these assholes market like their businesses and stuff like that. As a musician, as an artist, I wish I had that capital to like make that happen.
yeah, it'd be awesome because then you can put out whatever narrative that you want and people will just buy it because that's how it works because people are so open and receptive to that kind of shit, especially if you just saying the hot topic words that get people fucking going and get people buying your product or listening to your music or
That's
voting.
what Trump's name has become. Is like when you start to talk about it, it either does one of two things. Now it's got people to a boiling point of whether they hate the guy so much that it gets you riled up and you start talking about it and you start talking about whatever that topic is, or it's the opposite. You know what I mean? You like it or dislike it, whatever the side is. You know what I mean? Like they both do the same thing.
Yeah.
His name itself has literally become not his name anymore. It's become a brand.
Yeah.
And that is where you know there's some fuckery going on, and some brands don't like other brands, and they're going to compete, and whoever's got the biggest fucking wad of cash is going to get their narrative out the most. At the time, like over the last like however long, it's the left is definitely got the bigger pocketbook.
Oh yeah, well they got the DOJ, they got the media, they got the social media, they got everything. The left
But
controls the
again,
narrative right now.
I will say, with all of that said, I still maintain I can't stand all politicians, and I think they both sit at the same table, and I think that's a game that they're both playing knowingly with each other, and they're building whatever they're building.
Yeah.
It's like a mutual agreement to like do. I don't think they hate each other the way that they talk.
Well, they're
about.
controlled by the same people. You know what I mean?
I just watched a video about this. What is it? Friday during the day. It was fun. I forget the guy's name. He's starting to blow up on Instagram, but he's been on Twitter for a long time, I guess. I forget his name offhand, but he does these kind of videos where he just talks about situations, and I guess you can call it a conspiracy like type of person or whatever, but he just lays out information and you can make your own decision.
Did you
He's not
share
like-
one of his videos the other day?
I think I might have. No, maybe. I don't know. I don't remember the guy's name. He kind of looks like homie who beatboxes and shit all the time. What's his name? Mark Ribier.
Oh, Ribier. He has long hair.
Looks like him. Yeah, yeah. But anyway,
I think I know you're talking. His name's Ian or something.
Yeah, and he did that video showing because he was talking about corporations, and but he was talking about
Yeah,
basically the elite and who really runs everything. Yeah, it's an interesting. Not that video. That's a good one. But
this is what this guy's why I don't think that fucking Michael Jackson.
He did but again, he's not trying to push a narrative, but
right.
I mean, inevitably, he's kind of pointed in a direction because
course.
what he presents is literally pointing in that direction.
Oh, this dude's amazing.
For that one, but go to his Twitter page.
Follow the money, seek the truth.
Yeah. And so go down. He posted it recently. There's one in there. It looks like you probably passed it. It was like a recent one, but or at least I think it was recent. But he just talks about corporations and how to follow that. And somebody designed a OpenAI. That's a good one too. But basically, there's 8 companies or 8 organizations in the world that own like all of the industry. But what basically, long story short, is what he was explaining, what they show in a visual diagram is that those companies are actually, they own stock in each other. They're
Oh yeah.
all in each other. But then he goes into like who owns them, and then that's a whole different, echelon. It was a really interesting video, and it's all just factual stuff that's public record that you can like look up of
Right. Yeah. That's what I
who
like
owns
about it.
and
He
all
just
that stuff.
like, look, this is what I found on their website. They say it right there. No, it's like the idea that like BlackRock, State Street, and
He talks about
Vanguard
that,
all
yeah.
own like fucking everything, right? And then so
Yeah, but the interesting part is that they own each other.
right, yeah, they have stakes in each other.
Yeah. And that's where it's like they own each other, and they all hope that the 8 top companies and the corporations in the world that own everything, they hope and invest in each other, that they want each other to do good, even seemingly in the public eye that they don't like each other and they're competing. They actually own stock in each other, so they want each other to succeed. It's just an interesting video. But I ended up getting in a conversation about that. Ironically enough, at my gig, the owner and the bartender were having a conversation about that very thing. And I just watched his video and I was like, dude, I just fucking heard somebody talking about this on fucking Twitter earlier today. It was just funny. And that was on Friday.
Oh,
It's just hilarious.
and then of course, look, CNBC is running fucking defense for him, saying Vanguard, BlackRock, State Street don't own every major U.S.
But they own CBS.
Yeah, NBC too. They own
Yeah.
they own everything, and it's such a
It's crazy.
yeah. We were talking about how like
It's weird. Who's to know? Who's to know? And I guess that's where they want you, like whoever they may be. I don't know who the fuck they are,
right,
but
the days,
but,
the dims and
but-
days.
well, but yeah, but is then just even in politics, they want, politicians want you to fucking argue with each other.
Mhm.
As long as you're busy, this is gladiator shit, dude. Like
Divide and conquer.
Busy,
It's,
yeah,
it's
they
the
can do
oldest
whatever.
trick in the book. Divide and fucking conquer. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you keep the people fighting amongst themselves so they don't pay attention to how they're robbing you blind?
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And they haven't strayed away from it because it's never failed. That tactic has never failed.
No, it's a great tactic. I use it. I use it on my own family all the time. No, I'm not that big of a dickhead. No,
Or are you?
no,
Yeah.
we were talking about the other day. Hey, the Duke. What's up, buddy? I own them all. Don't tell anyone. I won't. Duke, welcome in, my friend. Good to see you.
Would not surprise me that whoever owns or controls the world literally hangs out on Twitch.
Exactly. Go figure.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Well, we were talking about the other day because there's this conspiracy, right? That the CIA helped raise up hip hop, gangster rap music.
Oh yeah, I saw your post. I've heard that before too.
Right, and it's to sort of funnel people into prisons, which is owned. So like BlackRock, Vanguard, they own like the record companies, they own the prisons, and I think even Ian Carroll, that's who we were talking about earlier. I think he's even talked about this a bit. But if you take a step,
he talks about it in the that you scrolled past the video that he had talking about the record companies.
oh, okay, that's the one you were talking about. Is but if you take it further, we'll watch this in a second here. If you take it a step further, even they own the prisons, they own the music industry or the record companies, but they also own the products that are made from the slave labor that's a part of the prison industrial complex, right? Like they own Victoria's Secrets, like they own McDonald's, they own so they own the products that the slaves that they are enslaving are making and making money off that. So they're making money off of each one. Now, is this a strategic thing that they're doing? Is it something that they're like sitting down and this is what's going to happen? Of course, the CIA can prop up a shell company, right? They can create any kind of financial situation they want, basically, because they're all in cahoots. So I don't know if that's all true, right? But it's very interesting to think about. So is this the one that you were talking about?
Maybe. I mean, a bunch of his videos are pretty good, but
here,
I don't know.
We'll get a little into this. What time is it? Okay, cool.
Hammer time.
because they are
You
now
gotta start,
in the club.
you gotta start from
And
the
so
beginning,
if
I
the
guess.
CEO of Universal
No,
Music
fuck
Group,
that. From the
I
middle.
didn't realize how controlled the music industry is until I made this
Yeah.
chart. See, I wanted to know how many of this last year's top 100 songs were produced by Universal Music Group, whose CEO is Lucien Grange, who was directly named in the recent P. Diddy lawsuit that alleged that he has hundreds of hours of video footage and audio recordings of all of this illegal stuff going on, providing laced alcoholic beverages to minors and sex workers, drugging and sexually assaulting people, underage girls, shootings, all kinds of drugs and firearms, and sketchiest of all, these crazy parties being hosted in houses wired up with secret cameras in every room, like Jeffrey Epstein style. There's photographic evidence included in the lawsuit. Pause if you want to read this. And the lawsuit directly alleges that CEO of Universal Music Group, Lucien Grange, was attending these parties and had direct knowledge of all of the crimes, or at least some of the crimes that I just mentioned. And again, this is all allegedly, according to this lawsuit, which has a lot of evidence to support it. And Lucien Grange is the CEO of Universal Music Group, which is massive. And this is just my opinion from reading the lawsuit, but it looks like what it's alleging is that Diddy, with help of associates, is acquiring blackmail on rappers that are getting signed into the industry, and other musicians too, and then promoting them because they are now in the club. And so if the CEO of Universal Music Group is aware of this operation or in some ways involved, how much of the music industry is controlled by Universal Music Group? Well, what I did is I went to the Billboard Hot 100 and I grabbed all these songs by these different artists and put them into a chart. And that chart looked like this. And then I did the research to figure out what record labels own those songs. And when it's all done, Universal controls 33 out of 2023's top 100 songs. That is 1/3 of the music on the top hits charts. And I'm not alleging that all of that music was done through this sexual blackmail scheme. I'm not alleging that it's all a direct causal relationship. I'm just pointing out how small and consolidated and tied together the music industry is, and raising some questions. And just to clarify my methods real quick here at the end, I did this research by typing in the name of the song and searching for it on Google, and then finding the Wikipedia page for that song specifically, and then scrolling down to the label, and then tracing. So Capitol is owned by Universal Music Group, so that's actually Universal on my chart. Obviously, it's a little more complicated than that, but I just wanted to simplify it. Next, I'm going to analyze how much of that top 100s chart is controlled by a certain group that people have a lot of allegations about, see if there's any basis to those claims. And I think I'm also going to watch all the music videos for all those songs and analyze whether that content is what you would consider wholesome or destructive to culture and people. You know, like generally perverse or promoting really bad themes. I'm pretty curious to see how that metric lines up with which record labels and which owners of those record labels. So stay tuned. And if you
Yeah, and then so I think he wouldn't
Yeah,
he
he's
he
interesting.
goes into Ian Carroll is amazing. I found him on TikTok, but apparently he does well across all these things, and even Candace Owens even used his research is part of her shit too. So it's however you feel about Candace Owens, it doesn't matter, but she's still like a big voice on the internet, and like this dude does do. It's not like deep research, but it's like
It's interesting for sure.
but it's just so plainly in front of us, right? It's so
With
plainly.
public record, he just does it with public record and public discourse, and I just this. I mean, he does it the same way that anybody in our positions could. You know what I mean? And he probably does it as well as anybody can, and those are just the facts of what he found.
Yeah.
That's it.
And
That's how I take it. I don't really kind of take the narrative. I kind of just listen to it, I guess. And I just found him like a couple weeks ago. Like I don't really, not even found him. He was probably pushed into my algorithm.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like I didn't find him. He was fucking pushed in front of me.
Right.
Because some AI probably thought I'd find it entertaining, which I do.
It's like, this will make him spend more time on this platform. Take this, have it.
Yeah.
Which is
That-
that's part of the problem, right? That's part of the problem of why so much censorship wants to come into play, because these algorithms are set up to sort of cater to your interest. And if your interest happens to be questioning people, then you find these people who question authority, that creates more people who are questioning authority, and that's why they sort of want to like clamp down on what you can and can't say, because, well, hey, we don't need people spreading information about, what we're really doing over here, or
Right.
they say it's misinformation or it's disinformation or malinformation or whatever the fuck you want to say.
If it doesn't fit the narrative, then you gotta go.
Okay, so Deacon wants to know, what's your dream guitar and amp setup?
Hmm. I don't know. I think that changes all the time. Just with there's so many new amps and guitars that come out. Like I don't even know these days. I mean, take even my streams. I haven't been using amps. Obviously use guitars, and my Gibsons are probably my dream guitars. I probably already have them, really. But I don't even use any amps with Ableton, like for my streams and stuff like that. So, but if I was playing a live gig and things, I mean, I have my Fender Deluxe, my short stack here, and then I
You
have
have
my
beautiful guitars and equipment.
I have a Fender. Let me see if we can get it in this shot. Maybe
Yeah.
like my Fender Blues Junior that's sitting back here. That's actually a classic, or not a classic, but it's a. There was only so many of those that were made. They're wired. This one's wired different than the typical Blues Junior. This one in particular is like special. I can't remember the year it came out. It was like 2013 or 11 or 17. It's not an old one by any means, but that Blues Junior sounds better than any Blues Junior that I've ever heard, or most Fender amps and things. So that one, for the style of music that I like to play. But the only downside to something like this is it does, like, if you want to play anything harder, like metal and stuff, which obviously relates into my pedal board situation more than with the amp. I just need the tube to break a certain way to push the sound. So I can still get a decent like metal sound with my pedal board and then in combination with the amp, but this amp is not really like meant for super heavy kind of style and stuff like that. So it's a little bit limited, but this Fender Deluxe isn't meant for that either, but this one will still kick some good tones out of these speakers. I'd like to replace them at some point though. The stock speakers that are in these Fenders are great, but if you can take like a, say like the Blues Junior is what, like 35 watt amp, I think, or something, like a 31 amp maybe, something like that. But if you have like, say, a 30 watt amp and you have a 30 watt speaker, when you push it to the top and you really crank it, you're going to get distorting out of it. So what a lot of people like to do is they'll take an amp like this or like this, whatever, and they'll put like a Celestion in it, like an El Nickel Gold or something like that. That's maybe a 50 watt speaker instead of whatever it is, like way above the amperage of the amp itself, so that when you turn it to 10, it pushes every bit of it with no distortion. It's completely clear. It's like taking a blanket off all of your tone, and like it's just nothing is hindered. It's pure sound, what it has to offer, and clarity, and all the tones will be much more rich and all that. So I want to take the stock speaker out of that one and put a 50 watt El Nickel Gold in that one, and that way it's just as optimal as it can be. And these I'd probably do too at some point.
Yeah, that's those are nice, man. That sounds beautiful. Like, how often do you even take an amp to gigs?
I mean, I only take an amp to a gig like this, like one of these, playing electric guitar.
Mhm.
I only take them if I'm playing with a band, which is very rare these days. So for now. Like I just got out here to the East Coast. We'll see. I've had a couple offers to be in certain bands out here already, but I haven't really. I've been kind of focused on this in here and stuff, and haven't really jumped on that. There was another streamer I was supposed to get hired to play guitar for, but this person didn't have chord charts or anything for any of his music or anything like that. And despite how famous he presents himself to be, but there's you might keep being a professional musician for a long time, so you like when someone hires you to play and wants to play out, and they hire you to play, and they say they've opened for this person or that person, and they're so professional, and then they don't have chord charts for their songs. It's like, well, okay. Even just scribble on it. It's not that it has to be perfect. You just literally, you could just write it out real quick. Like, hey, this is my verse. This is my chorus. This is my bridge. One song, boom, and just write. You could handwrite them like something. Give me something. If you don't have that, I don't take any stock into it. So I haven't played with said person or anything like that because I don't believe you. I believe there's auto-tune being used and like AI generated fucking posters and whatever else,
Now Duke wants to know who it is.
Oh no, I'm good. No, I'm good. I'm not trying to start a fucking streamer war or some weird shit. You gotta. I'm not the best musician in the world, but I'm not gonna waste anybody's time or my own. You gotta have your shit at least halfway together to come fuck with me. Like I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I feel that. It's like, man, because I got asked to do, man, they asked me if I wanted to play keys for a band. And this was the last time I even tried to do any kind of outside gigging, going out and gigging with other bands and stuff. And so I get in their DMs and they're like, oh, here's our song list. And then was like, learn all these songs, and then we'll give you a call when a gig opens up. And so I started learning the songs stupidly. There's no charts. He barely gave me any keys that they play the song in because, some people just play everything in E flat, because that's what they can sing in. And like, I'm learning these songs, and fucking meanwhile, I'm seeing him and the band gig everywhere. And I'm like, why am I learning these songs? There's no charts. There's there's basically just names of songs. And like, I'm going to spend all this time on maybe getting a call. I don't know. I'm not.
Yeah. You over the years of doing this stuff, it goes from, when you're younger, you want to start a band, you want to write songs, you want to put albums out, you want it to blow up and all this stuff. You want to be a rock star. That's kind of like what that is. But then when you really get into the music business, you understand what session players are like being for hire. You do side gigs and stuff, and you develop this other thing where the real kind of work is, or whatever, and you learn there's a difference between working gigs and showcases and stuff like that and everything in between. And you learn to hate rehearsals because it takes so much time like out of your day. So when you do rehearse, like, so for me, I always loved rehearsing though. I was kind of a unicorn in that aspect. Like I liked having a group of folks that I came together and write with, and we worked hard every week and we bonded together in a room, and you can't really replace that bond without putting in the hours. So I enjoyed the work of learning and writing and doing that like within hours of, and maybe not utilizing your time to the best of your ability. And so, but you do grow out of that to a point of you want to be efficient. This game is about efficiency. And so on an organic level, if you're cheating it with AI and electronic levels, that efficiency in the most part, go fuck yourself. Like that's just it's not good. Like it's just not good. There's no soul in it. You can hit all the right notes and still be boring and not interesting. And when it's done that way, it sounds that way and sounds auto-tuned, and it sounds not the way that I like music to be. And that's just my own preference. It's not for everybody, to each their own, but that's just not my jam. But for rehearsal, you got to be efficient. And when you show up with a bunch of people for the first time or any time that don't really know each other very well, and you're coming together to play something that not everybody knows but like the back of their hand, you got to have chord charts. You have to. You just have to have some kind of direction in what you're doing, or else you show up and it takes you an hour and a half just to get ready to rehearse. And I'm not trying to go there and get ready. I'm showing up to rehearse.
Right.
So that's where I stand with that kind of stuff. It's like, well, like if you don't have that, don't talk to me. Like
Hey,
it's
Ziggy.
just not.
No, I feel that, man. I feel that. I hate that shit. I hate showing up to places or having, especially having my shit together, and the person who's like hiring us don't even have their shit together, or
Yeah.
just, or that situation where it's like, here's a list of songs, learn them, and it's like, no, like I need to know what's going on. Like I need to, because I've played with this person several times before. They know we could play. I know we can jam. I know it's good, but to be that underprepared, and I'm not with it. I'm over
And
that.
it's rampant, it's rampant in the streamer space. I will call out the streamer space for that, because like as you know, like that we've all been at festivals at this point where, like, there's a bunch of streamers that have been there and stuff, and there's streamers that have been live gigging, IRL musicians for a long time, that got into the streaming world and had to learn how to stream. And then there's streamers, musicians that have only done this in their room, and then they are having to learn in real time, going out in public and doing it for real, like in front of people. And I mean that in a sense of, for real means that, like, somebody could throw a fucking beer at you because you're there. Like they could really, like, they spent good money to be there. Like you're there. And 9 times out of 10, it's not to knock like all, so there's some very talented streaming musicians, but I'll say 9 times out of 10 is too harsh. I will say more times than not, I end up at a festival and I hear streamers perform, and it's not the same. It's not for live. Like being in your room is very different than playing, out in public and doing the thing. And some of them have learned really quick too, and they've gotten better over the years. And I end up at certain festivals, and they've gotten better, and it's fun. I love to see people progress and get better, and it's a beautiful thing. It's really cool. But with all the hubris in the streaming world, I find it very, very funny. With all of that gets shit talked, and then you don't really sound like that when you play live, because you could show somebody a really well done produced track, but then you play live and it's dog shit. There's that aspect of it. And then, let me reference the chord chart stuff. Fucking
right. No, I mean, it really, you really can see when someone's out in the open, bare naked on the stage. You can see where they stand with everything, with their talent, with what they present. And because you can create a really tailored environment where you can have great sound on stream, and you have lights, and you can, there's stuff you can do with your vocals and all this stuff that
there's some that use auto tune like throughout their whole stream.
Yeah, because that's just a plugin now. You can just plug it in and you'll stay in tune.
Note.
Yeah.
You hit a wrong note, but a musician can sit there and watch it and be like, is that style that they're implementing? Is that what they like? Because there are people that use that kind of stuff and it's their style.
Right.
Because you get that robotic kind of undertone of things. They like that. But is it really? Or is it, can you not do what you're putting out that you do?
Right.
Because that's why I like to listen to live records. Like when I listen to stuff on whatever shit streaming platforms we have, like Spotify or what have you, that have become household names. I usually listen to live records, because if you don't sound like that, I don't want it. Like that's just my own preference in music. Like if you're not who you say you are, then it trickles down in the rest of your life. If you can lie to me in there, you can lie to me somewhere else. And I don't put myself in it.
I feel that, man. I feel that. It's
I
definitely.
very intensely like believe that too. Like
Yeah,
it
well,
just
no, it
means
coincides. I
for
think
sure.
I think growth with your art is you're also growing as a person. So like once you
Yeah.
if you stagnate, then you're going to stagnate in other ways in your life. You know who's really cool that fucking uses auto tune all the time, but can actually fucking like really fucking work it is T Pain. Have you ever seen
He
T?
1000%. I just had a short conversation about him the other day. And when I went to DreamHack in Atlanta, the basically like what TwitchCon like is supposed to be,
Hmm,
DreamHack was that. Like it was very game oriented. It was very content. Like it was that. It
cool.
wasn't a social fucking spectacle where they made people feel weird or not for not abiding by their whatever social antic was being blown in the wind that day.
Yeah.
They like DreamHack was like the kind of heart of what I thought that TwitchCon was supposed to be. Um, uh, T Pain was there, being goofy with everybody and hanging out with all of us, and like just doing like wild shit. He's just the funniest fucking weirdo, dude. He
Yeah.
just he truly does love like the stuff that he does, and that fucking guy. See, the difference between him is that that guy is seriously talented, and it's because alongside of having an ability to sing the way that he can, because he's got some fucking pipes, some
Dude.
serious pipes.
Yeah.
That guy can cut some rug. He's a very, very good natural singer. There's singers who sing really well, like me, that like that aren't naturally gifted. Like I don't sing well. I didn't mean to say it like, oh, I sing well, but like I sing a little bit, but I earn that. I worked really hard to do
Mm.
that. I sounded like shit when I first started. I have recordings of when I first started at open mics, and it sounds like a cat's dying. It's like you can learn. I'm kind of proof that you can learn a lot
Hmm.
without necessarily being gifted that from like a genetic or like a young age or whatever. But T Pain, he's a natural singer. He has amazing genes for it. He was born with something that allows him to sing that way, and then on top of it works really hard. He plays so many instruments, and that is where I was conversing about this the other day because like there's some talented hip hop people, you know what I mean, that can freestyle and rap and do all these things on all these platforms. The major hold up, I think, for me, like connecting with some of that stuff from those people that I think have some talent, like for that, 9 times out of 10, they don't play a fucking instrument. And if you just took the time to honor your craft and learn and put in the work, as people like to say, your ability to rap and do hip hop and all those things, because rap and hip hop are very different. But like you would be so much better at it and more creative if you just put in the fucking work to honor your craft and learn an instrument, piano, guitar, play drums, something that gives you insight to notes and the way that an instrument works. Like your cadences, your flows, like the way that your dynamics and inflections would change because of that and become more versatile, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
if you put so T
Absolutely.
Pain's one of those people. He's put in the work from an early age, and that dude's he's the real deal, man. I'm not his music is none of my cup of tea. Like I'm not a fan. Like it just doesn't resonate with me. But on a talent level, I mean, when he branches out and does other things that I do like, he does it better than most.
Oh yeah.
It's crazy.
Have you seen him do War Pigs? Did you see that video?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And he's
Yeah, that
and
was a good one.
it's amazing. And I didn't know this, but like he also writes country music. Like he has
Yeah,
hits.
yeah.
I had no idea, like it's
Yeah.
so fucking rad to see someone like that who like he had party dance music, fucking, like it was, hey, thank you. Is that supposed to be perspectives? Is that what that is? Holden, welcome. Holden is a rapper actually. Speaking of rapper, actually Holden's rapped on one of my songs before. So,
Nice.
but yeah, man, like it's that.
Learn an instrument.
What'd you say?
Learn an instrument.
Holden, do you know an instrument?
You will be better.
If
for
you
sure.
don't, you gotta
Better.
go. Oh, you're about to go live? Okay, you got another show. Let me shout you out. Everybody, make sure you go follow Perspectives on Kick over here. How do I spell it? PRS
PRS key CT
Yes.
VS.
Thank you.
As in
Boom.
VHS. That's how old we are.
Oh man, I have to piss so bad, and I have to go and do other things. Matt, I could talk to you all day. When's the next time you stream?
I'm gonna eat some food and then go live in a little while.
And you're going live on all 3 platforms?
Yeah. I'll stream on. I'll multicast, which is a whole other conversation. It's funny, we came together to talk about streaming and all these things, and then we ended up talking about conspiratorial nonsense for 3 hours. But yeah, I'll be multicasting on Kick and Twitch and Live Space as well.
What the
which
fuck
a
is
new,
Live Space?
Live Space is another new streaming platform it needs a lot of work, kind of like, I mean, Twitch needs a lot of work in itself, and then, and Kick is on its way doing its thing. But Live Space is newer than Kick and things. It's owned by a musician. I forget his name, but it might be Todd. I think this guy Todd is the owner. But at any rate, I think it's got good intentions, and who knows? You got to keep your options open and utilize all your tools, as my buddy iRock would say, that streams. That might be doing Marvel streams on Twitch right now, and Kick and Live Space as well. But yeah, you gotta branch out and do all that, because it just, you never know when these platforms are going to go away, and it's seeming to be that some of them are running themselves into the ground. And so if you're going to continue streaming, you got to start branching out to other places, and viewers need to start being more open-minded to experiencing other places as well, because the places that we love to enjoy, they just might not be here.
Mighty, thank you so much for that gifted sub to Pepe, who fucking always demands more.
And my channels, Mike, now are just Matt Suarez.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. I changed the name like probably 2 years ago on Twitch. I think it was, or a year and a half ago on Twitch there. But yeah, I dropped the music. I do much more than music on my streams, and we hang out and things. So
yeah, you game and you chat and you hang out.
Yeah, I felt that just being Matt Suarez music was just so limiting and not really representative of what I'm doing in there. Yeah. Which really, I just wish I had a cool streamer name and not like my name. I wish I had some kind of cool moniker.
Well, I mean, it doesn't get any cooler than We Speak English. Good.
That's what I'm right. Exactly. I need some kind of like, I don't know, like Prince had like an emblem at one point because record companies suck, and then like but it just had Prince.
Listen, like, Ziggy, how are you on Twitch if Twitch is no longer in Korea? Are you using a VPN? That's strange. Ziggy's in Korea, and I guess Twitch dropped Korea, and here's Ziggy.
Twitch closed there, and they closed a couple other places too, man. They're showing. I mean, not to get on that because you got to pee, but
no,
Twitch is definitely showing they're showing every sign of what a company does before they close shop.
That's interesting.
Like if you look at any industry out there, like if you saw a business that was doing their thing or whatever, they're doing a lot of things that a company that is failing and that is not going to be around in the future would do. So again, like branch out to other streaming platforms. They might not be around forever either, other ones, but I think it's important to kind of.
Well, I think it's wild that they fucked over partners on Twitch, and then now you have to, what is it called, super partners, some cheesy shit like that.
I don't know what it is. Like I've been like my partnerversary was January 7th, and that was 2 years that was partner, but I completely forgotten about it, and like I didn't even. It's never helped me. It's only hurt my channel. They've definitely never done anything to support me. The viewership for me, for some reason, on Twitch has dropped from like anywhere from, and this is like after the world opened up. So like anywhere from like 80 to 150 people to like 3 to 7. Damn. Yeah, like I don't really. So for me, it was like a lack of reciprocation that kind of forced me to go look in other avenues. And I still multicast because there are some really amazing people that still continue to come and show up, and I stream just in case they want to come over, and when they do, it's fun and stuff like that. So I just keep that line of sight. But if it was But if it was just, like viewership or whatever, I would have stopped streaming there a long time ago because it doesn't really serve a purpose.
Yeah, no, Twitch has gone really weird, I mean, and I feel like it was because all these tech companies sort of was like on top of the world when everyone was at home and everybody was using the platform, and they hired a bunch of people and a bunch of fucking,
Sure.
they
Sure.
overexpended themselves, and now they're sort of like people are back into
Yeah,
the world.
and they've openly talked about like not giving two shits about the music category in particular. And so again, I will say it. We referenced it earlier in your show. Music is the first thing that people lean on when shit is going down and times are tough, and it's the last fucking thing that gets protected, supported, and built when they need it.
Yeah.
It's like we're just the that people that people grab onto when they need it, and then we're the prayer that everybody's fucking sending out. You know what I mean? And then when you don't need it,
Yeah.
who gives a shit?
Beautiful last words. Matt Suarez, thank you so much for being on the show. Everybody, make sure you go and follow Matt. Make sure you
Don't go to my channel if you don't want real shit. Don't come to my channel.
You heard the conversation here, folks. If you want more of that, excluding the R word, you go over to Matt Suarez and fucking live it up over there. I love you, Matt. I appreciate you coming on, taking the time to come on the show again. And
been a while. What was the last time we did this?
I don't know. It's been a while. I wanted a big part of it was I wanted to catch up, even though you're just a phone call away, which makes me feel like an asshole. But still,
follow me closer. We can book me some gigs in Toledo, and I'll drive up.
He's like, I will pull up, bitch.
I'll play I'm telling you, like I'll play once a month. I'll drive up. You book me 3 gigs in a weekend, and I'll drive up.
I don't even know anybody anymore that books gigs.
Me neither. We can meet people together.
He's like, start booking, bitch.
This works. We'll play as a duo. We'll make each other money. It's all good. You bring your keys. I won't bring any chord charts. We can just show up.
Let's just fucking live it, baby. Everybody, please give a solid hand to Matt Suarez. Thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate you, Matt. I love you, brother. I'll talk to you soon. Everybody, Matt Suarez.
That is amazing.
All right, peace, brother. There goes Matt Suarez. There goes Matt Suarez. Oh, yeah. There goes Matt Suarez. There goes Matt Suarez. There goes Matt Suarez. Ooh, ooh, ooh.